to all of us personally.
He raised, I believe, the level of not only the Yankees, organization and what they want to do as far as winning and winning championships, but I feel like he's raised the bar around baseball.
The opportunity to play for the boss and the family was something that was second to none.
If you're a retired player, there's a good chance that if you played for the Yankees and you got in trouble, you could always go to Mr. Steinbrenner, and he was always there for you.
No one did it better than George Steinbrenner. I think he made baseball more competitive.
Just always made me feel like he wanted me part of the family, so I always felt comfortable around him.
George was one of the toughest competitors I've ever been around. He wanted to win like no one else.
He was the kind of guy that if you gave a good effort every day, every night out there, that he was going to be by your side till the end.
He had that mystique about him, but, he was the boss. But it was more than that. He wanted to win. He had the desire, the heart, the will, you name it. He wanted to put the best product on the field, and he wasn't afraid to go get it.
He'll be remembered as probably, one of the greatest owners to ever be in baseball because, things like this don't happen by chance. The winning that has happened in New York has a lot to do with Mr. Steinbrenner.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
As the Yankees get set to resume baseball in the second half, there are a variety of ways that fans are remembering two Yankees greats at Yankee Stadium tonight. As you enter the executive lobby at Gate 2 at Yankee Stadium, a wreath adorns the statue of team owner George M. Steinbrenner. Also in Monument Park, a wreath adorning the plaque of Bob Shepard, the legendary public address announcer. And again, as the fans show up at Yankee Stadium tonight, they're coming for baseball, but they're also coming to honor two Yankees legends, including one who has made a lasting impression on the game and will continue to do so. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us. Bob Lorenz along with Jack Curry. Kim Jones will join us in just a moment. You're getting a sense that the tone tonight will be very somber, Jack, and what will eventually be a ceremony in just a few minutes for both Steinbrenner and Bob Shepard.
Absolutely, Bob. Before the game, Joe Girardi does a press conference. Today, that press conference stretched 23 minutes. I would estimate that 20 minutes worth of it were questions about George Steinbrenner. Girardi almost broke up 3 or 4 times. Derek Jeter also did a press conference. He was asked about George Steinbrenner and the loss of George Steinbrenner, and someone said it wasn't a family member, and Jeter interjected and said, yes, it was. That was a family member.
And I mentioned ultimately it's about baseball, and the Yankees are getting set to take on the Tampa Bay Rays in the first of 3. But last night, baseball around the major leagues resumed, and in Boston, prior to the Red Sox game against the Texas Rangers, the Red Sox honored both George M. Steinbrenner and Bob Shepard in a variety of ways. And I thought one Red Sox fan, Jack, put it best. He said, that doesn't mean we love him, but we respect him. There's competition, but there's decency.
Classy gesture by the Red Sox, Bob, and that fan had it right. I also think astute fans of the Red Sox would understand that because George Steinbrenner raised the bar so high and was willing to put money into the Yankees, the Red Sox had to do the same thing. The Yankees lifted the Red Sox and probably helped the Red Sox get to the point where they finally did win a World Series.
All right, also joining us as part of our pregame ceremonies tonight, Michael Kay and Ken Singleton up in the booth. And Michael, interesting to note that there are so many emotions that have coursed through the Yankees and their fans over the past week. One very somber, but also in a way a celebration of life because of the way that George Steinbrenner turned this team into a champion once again. Well, all right, so let's, we're waiting on Michael and Ken. Let's get over to the first base side. Kim Jones is standing by. And Kim, you know, the news of George Steinbrenner's death broke during the All-Star game just prior to that Tuesday morning. Many of the Yankees found out there. We talked to them at that time. One player, as we know, who was not there was Mariano Rivera. I know he was enjoying the break elsewhere. You had a chance to talk to him. What did he have to say?
I certainly did talk to Mariano, also an All-Star as well. And he has many stories about George Steinbrenner because the two were very close. Here's one of his favorites. During the 2000 World Series, Mariano was in the clubhouse during a game. It was the 6th inning. George Steinbrenner walked in with hamburgers and offered one to Mariano. He said, I can't eat a hamburger. I have to pitch. George said, well, are we going to win the game? Mariano said, yes. Not only are we going to win this game, we're going to win the series. And ultimately they did. And George Steinbrenner, of course, liked that an awful lot. Mariano laughed in telling that story because that was George Steinbrenner. And Mariano knows there will never be another like him.
He was the boss, but I mean, when the boss was in the house because everybody was running. You say, hey, the boss is here. And his presence, in the clubhouse was notorious. He was sharp. He was excellent. I love that. I love to see him, walking around and looking at the lockers and looking at the guys and saying hello to the guys and hey, kid, do your job. And, all those things was wonderful. I mean, I love that from him. And like I said, motivation, to me, he was motivation. Every time that he was here, that was like, okay, remember that we play for the New York Yankees and he is the boss. And we had to do good for him.
How do you describe the loss this is for the Yankees organization, for Yankee fans, for baseball?
It's huge loss. Irreplaceable. It won't be another like the boss. You can't replace the boss. He always give us the best from him. Always the opportunity to, first of all, protect his players. I don't remember if it was a playoff game or a regular game against Baltimore, and Tino got hit. And he was ready. He said, well, he said in the news with, I think it was against Peter Angelo, that he's ready to go 3 rounds with him. That was our boss. I love it.
It is, of course, the core 4 among current Yankees who were most closely tied to George Steinbrenner. And Andy Pettitte said today he will most remember his last visit with the boss. It was in spring training during a night game. He went up to the suite. He sat with the boss. He said, Mr. Steinbrenner, I think we have another good team. I love our staff. I think we're going to pitch very well. He said he wasn't really paying attention to me. He looked out. The Yankees were trailing 2-1. He said, all I know is we could use a couple of runs tonight. Andy laughed and said that was him, even during his last spring training. Now, to commemorate George M. Steinbrenner III and Bob Shepherd, the Yankees will wear patches on their uniform jerseys as you take a look. The Shepherd patch is on the left sleeve. The Steinbrenner patch is above the heart, above the interlocking NY on the home jerseys. Derek Jeter noted of the placement, it is in a perfect spot, meaning above the heart of the players. And speaking of Jeter, Bob, he anticipates an emotional ceremony tonight. He says, I know the fans appreciate what these 2 men meant. And my sources tell me I sense a very special moment is coming involving the captain. I know everyone will pay close attention to the ceremony, and that will be a moment you won't want to miss.
All right, Kimberly, thank you. We look forward to that, and now we want to get up to the booth. And as promised, some thoughts from Michael Kay and Ken Singleton.
It's hard to put into words exactly what this man meant, but this is the first game since the end of the 1972 season that George Steinbrenner is not atop the hierarchy of the New York Yankees. And the one thing that sums up what George Steinbrenner is about is his insatiable desire, an unquenchable desire to win. Even after he won championships, the next day he was trying to win another one. And I just don't think there are a lot of owners in sports that feel like that, like they have to win every single game.
Yeah, for the fans who come here to Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium, they have a Yankee Museum. And all you have to do is go up there and you'll see the 7 World Championship trophies that were won during George Steinbrenner's ownership of the New York Yankees. And I know that he was demanding. There's no doubt about it. He wanted the best for his team, but he was paying the cost to be the boss. I mean, the Yankees had the highest payroll, and he expected them to produce while he spent that money.
And usually they produce, Bob. They produce big time during his ownership. The Yankees had the best winning percentage of any team in baseball.
Michael, Kenny, thank you. I was struck throughout the course of this week about the fact that people talk about high expectations and the demands. And I guess to some, and we heard from Joe Girardi and Derek Jeter earlier, that's people can't live up to that. But those are 2 guys, Jack, who in my opinion really got it. You know what I mean?
I agree, Bob, and I'll throw Mariano Rivera into that mix too, because Rivera and Jeter before the game today both described George Steinbrenner as a perfectionist, and they said they loved having an owner who was a perfectionist because they considered themselves perfectionists, and that's why they loved playing for the Yankees. It's the only way they knew.
In a way, as you mentioned, some of these players almost look at that as a challenge. When I was at the All-Star game in the wake of George Steinbrenner and staff, I talked to the former reliever Jeff Nelson, who said the day that he was brought into spring training and he came there, Mr. Steinbrenner walked up to him and said, here's why I traded for you. Here's what I expect. And he said, well, you know what? I'll do my best to deliver. And he was able to do that, helping to win 4 world championships. But it was the guys that got it. It's the guys that didn't really push back, but said, hey, you challenged me. I'm going to live up to that challenge, that I think made the Yankees successful.
And you mentioned Girardi being one of those guys. And Girardi was asked today, how would he describe George Steinbrenner to his son when his son gets older? And he said, I might not have to do much describing. I'm the owner in my family, and I'm going to have high expectations for my son and my daughters, so they'll know a little bit of George Steinbrenner because that's the way I'm going to be as they get older.
From talking to some of the players, again, listening to Girardi and Jeter, do they have any sense of what to expect tonight from the crowd?
I think everybody is wondering, Bob. I think that baseball has sort of been pushed aside. There will be a first pitch and everybody will start thinking about baseball, but I really think that everybody is wondering. It's almost as if the baseball game is going to take a back seat at the beginning to an impromptu funeral service.
All right, so again, we await the ceremony beginning in about 2 minutes here on the field, scheduled to begin around 6:45. And I think nobody anticipated this night happening for these reasons, but in a way it will make tonight very special. And there is some positivity in that, in the way that both Bob Shepard and George Steinbrenner changed the game.
Absolutely, and even the Rays talked about it before the game. Joe Madden said, we're here to play baseball, but we understand why there's a lot going on around us, and we will have a lot of respect for everything that's going on around us.
All right, obviously, a little bit later, it'll be about baseball, but coming up after this break, it'll be about the ceremony. Don't go away.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by Ford. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Drive one at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
And we are back here at Yankee Stadium awaiting the pregame ceremony honoring George M. Steinbrenner III and legendary public address announcer Bob Shepard. And in listening to Derek Jeter today, people were talking about his personal relationship, and he mentioned all the times he was with him in Tampa and how it always veered into something other than baseball. At times, obviously, Ohio State versus Michigan.
A lot of football talk, and it was interesting to see Jeter kind of chuckle as he said he tried to convince the boss that, hey, we play 162 games. It's a little different than college or NFL football where they play 12, 13, or in the NFL maybe 16. But Jeter laughed as he said Mr. Steinbrenner had that football mentality. He wanted to win every game.
He was a football coach at the core, and you had a chance throughout the course of the week to talk to a variety of people about his passing. You talked to Commissioner Bud Selig today. What did he say?
Just about an hour ago, he spoke to Commissioner Bud Selig. He said he was still stinging from the loss. Mr. Steinbrenner was a very dear friend of his, he said. He said they were two guys who probably shouldn't have been friends. He was rushing home because he wanted to be able to see this ceremony we're about to see.
All right, so it obviously will be a very stirring ceremony. We expect a lot of emotion, as even right now the crowd knows the program will begin. The noise begins to swell. A lot of emotion here in the stadium. And as we get set for a ceremony honoring both Bob Shepard and legendary owner George Steinbrenner.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Ladies and gentlemen, this past week, the New York Yankees lost 2 legendary men. And tonight, the Yankees would like to take a few moments to remember them both. This past Sunday morning, the voice of Yankee Stadium, Bob Shepard, passed away at the age of 99. Bob was the public address announcer at Yankee Stadium for 57 years and worked approximately 4,500 games. And then, this past Tuesday morning, the principal owner of the New York Yankees, George M. Steinbrenner III, passed away at the age of 80. Mr. Steinbrenner purchased the team in 1973, and during his ownership, the Yankees won 16 division titles, 11 American League pennants, and 7 World Championships. At this time, please direct your attention to the Diamond Vision screen in center field for a special video tribute to George Steinbrenner.
You're not just putting a baseball uniform on. You're wearing tradition and you're wearing pride. and you're going to wear it the right way.
Everyone knows what the boss has meant to our organization, but more importantly to the game of baseball, and he will be deeply missed.
He was great. He was great. I can't say anything anymore. It's sad for me today.
I'm going to really miss him. I've had some great times with him, and he's just been a great owner. And I mean, New York should be very proud that they had him.
I love George Steinbrenner, and I think that he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
He is a real warrior. He's a real deal.
It was tough. Definitely was a fierce competitor as far as the organization and wanting us to win and be competitive. But he was nothing but never short of great to me and to my family.
In my growing up years and my schooling years, I've had some tremendous mentors that I am so proud of and I love dearly. But this man goes far beyond all that in his teaching through his example of paying attention to detail, getting the answer if you don't have it, using the resources that are out there, and putting it all together with all the people to make something like this be not only successful, a wonderful environment to be in and to share and to contribute to and be a part of.
He is definitely the face of the New York Yankees and forever will be. And growing up here in Tampa, Mr. Steinbrenner has done so much for our community. He was this larger-than-life human being. In my opinion, the greatest owner in team sports.
We follow his example. I think I opened my foundation because of him. He's a mentor. He's been, he's always give back. He's always been there for me, and I want to say thank you to Mr. Steinbrenner because he's been unbelievable to my foundation and to myself.
One of the things that is not talked enough about Mr. Steinbrenner is how giving of a man he is, and a man that really cared about people and tried to change people's lives, whether it was a first chance, a second chance, or a third chance. And that's who he really was.
I think George Steinbrenner has done more for baseball than any owner in history. I might be a little biased because I'm a Yankee now, but at the same time, when I was growing up and hearing about what he was doing with the Yankees and to see what he's built now, he's built the most incredible franchise in sports.
It's very simply said, and I think it's well known that George Steinbrenner is the greatest owner that's ever lived. And 27 World Championships is a pretty good backup to that. As a player, you dream about playing for an owner like Mr. Steinbrenner, and what he's been able to do for the Yankees is something that will be revered forever.
Can anybody comprehend getting their hands on the New York Yankees franchise like George Steinbrenner did and elevating it to such greater heights? It's an impossible thing to do, but that's what he did. George Steinbrenner is the greatest owner in the history of all sports, and his legacy will never be matched.
How can you ever honor him enough? I think the way he'd want us to do it is go out and try to win another championship.
I don't like losing. Winning's important to me. It's second. It's second to breathing. Breathing's first, winning's second.
I'm just not an entertainer, so the way I see it, if I'm not an entertainer, I must fall into that other category. Beloved Americans from another walk of life.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your caps? George Steinbrenner, the boss, had a long-standing relationship with the United States Military Academy at West Point. And tonight, in honor of this relationship and the boss's patriotism, in a few moments, the colors will be presented in center field by the West Point Honor Guard. In addition, Staff Sergeant Mickey Skinner of the West Point Band will perform taps. And then will be followed by the official vocalist of the West Point Band, United States Army Sergeant First Class Mary Kay Messenger, who will then sing our national anthem.
Please direct your attention now to the microphone behind home plate and welcome number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
We gathered here tonight to honor two men who were both shining stars in the Yankee universe. Both men, Mr. George Steinbrenner and Mr. Bob Shepard, cared deeply about their responsibilities to this organization and to our fans. And for that, they'll forever be remembered in baseball history and in our hearts. Simply put, Mr. Steinbrenner and Mr. Shepard both left this organization in a much better place than when they first arrived. They've set the example for all employees of the New York Yankees to strive to follow. So now I ask everyone to join us in a moment of silence.
stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight are the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets almost bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave, o'er the land of the
By 2 games, Boston running third, 5.5 back. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Todd Callis will be along as well. It's great to have you looking in. Well, Brian, the Rays begin the second half of the season with a couple of things in mind. One is to overtake the New York Yankees, to grab the top spot in the East, and to hold off any potential competitor for a postseason bid as far as the wild card is concerned. Carl Crawford and Evan Longoria, the heart and soul of the offense, they've been great. They're going to need some help.
They are, but these are the 2 starters that the Rays had, 2 of the 3 in the All-Star game, and I like to look at Carl Crawford, like to think of him as a productive catalyst. This guy, .321 batting average, has 11 home runs, 50 RBIs, but that stat right there, the catalyst part of it, 70 runs scored, 31 stolen bases. This is the guy out of that number 2 hole, really gets it going for this lineup. Following Carl Crawford in that lineup, Evan Longoria, one of the big boppers, been very productive in the first half, the .300 average, 13 home runs, 61 RBIs. He'll steal some bags too. These have been the 2 big guns in the first half, but you know what? They are going to need some help. They're going to need some different guys in the lineup to step up, because they're definitely the 2 guys that make this lineup go, but they cannot carry this team by themselves.
One of the things that makes this season series so great, and especially tonight's matchup, would be the starting pitching. We're going to see 2 very good ones here tonight. CC Sabathia for New York, and James Shields, who the last 2 times he's pitched in New York has pitched well.
Yeah, let's start with CC Sabathia for the New York Yankees. This guy off to a slow start for his standards. His first 11 starts this year, just a 4-3 record, an ERA over 4, but look at what he's done his last 8 starts. An 8-0 record, 1.81 on the earned run average. He's gone at least 7 innings, and every single one of those starts has given up no more than 3 earned runs in any of those starts, and he loves pitching in this ballpark. 6-0 on the season here in 8 starts. James Shields, the exact opposite. He started off the season red hot. His first 9 starts, he was 5-1 with the ERA just over 3, has stumbled as of late. You see the last 9 starts, the 1-8 record, the high ERA, but I will say this, the last few starts that Shields has gone out there, we have seen some glimpses of old vintage Shields, but he's going to have to put that together for a complete full game.
And the Verizon Wireless pitching matchup, Shields comes in 7-9 on the year with a .487 earned run average, and Sabathia, as you mentioned, coming off that great streak, is 12-3 with a 3.09 earned run mark. So the Rays and the Yankees square off. The Rays have won 3 of the 5 games played so far in this season series. That leaves, including this one, 13 games left this year between these 2 teams. Back with game 1 of this series in a moment.
Clean
Clean the mess, find the shoe. Where are my keys? I have no clue how to plan the family fun. There's just no time. I'm on the run.
Find family fun fast at tampabay.com/things to do. Whether you're looking for free local events, live music, date night ideas, or restaurant reviews, find everything you need to plan fun fast at tampabay.com/things to do.
That was easy. I saved time and I didn't spend a dime. With a click, I'm Supermom. Thanks a lot, tampabay.com.
Can a smartphone reach the four corners of the earth? Can it make unlimited Skype-to-Skype calls to any country without using any minutes?
Hello?
I am anyone on Skype. Droid can with Skype Mobile, one of thousands of apps that can run with other apps from the ever-expanding Android market. When there's no limit to what Droid gets, there's no limit to what Droid does.
Right now, buy one Droid by Motorola and get a second one free. Only from Verizon.
If you had a choice between going bald and a fuller head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss. You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure, but the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven permanent hair loss solution, call the toll-free number below to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair, so don't put it off any longer. The phone call is free. The information is free. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 1-800-551-6178. That's 1-800-551-6178.
Rays baseball tonight from New York is brought to you by Ham Scott, the Money Superstore. Inside the new Yankee Stadium, New York taking the field prior to game one of this three-game series. Right now, let's go to the field. Here's Todd Callis.
Dwayne, thank you so much. The Rays coming into New York last night had a little workout at Tropicana Field before they left town. It also gave manager Joe Maddon a chance to address the troops, and this was his message leading in to the second half.
Talked a lot about respecting our position, treating it with respect. You worked so hard to get to this point. Now it's definitely not the time to back off or take things for granted. I wanted them to understand that. Pretty much had the same message in 2008. It kind of resonates for me. So that and again, just talking about treating every day with equal respect again, and the fact that we really can't be egotistical about this. It's not about the name on the back. It's definitely about the name on the front of the jerseys.
Joe Maddon with our Geico quote of the game, and we are ready for baseball. Let's kick it back upstairs to Dwayne and Brian, guys.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. The Rays beginning this road trip. They've won 10 out of their last 12 games to go 20 over 500. And here is tonight's starting lineup put together by Joe Maddon. Jay Upton, because of good numbers against the left-hander Sabathia, is in the leadoff spot. Carl Crawford will hit second, and Evan Longoria his usual third in front of Carlos Pena, then Ben Zobrist, and Kelly Shopik will do the catching. Willie Ibar is the DH with Gabe Kapler in right. Jason Bartlett is the shortstop.
And there is that big left-hander, CC Sabathia, making his 20th start of the season. Got the 2 complete games, a sterling 12-3 record, ERA just over 3, the 131 innings, second in the American League behind Felix Hernandez. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense. Left to right in the outfield, Brett Gardner, Curtis Granderson, and Nick Swisher across the infield, third to first, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and Mark Teixeira. Jorge Posada behind the plate. Tonight's defense brought to you by Sweet Bay. Live fresh for less.
And there is Joe Maddon in his 5th year as the skipper of the Rays. And Joe Girardi across the field in the first base dugout. His 10th season as a big league manager already, and his 8th as the Yankee manager. We're all set to play baseball, and B.J. Upton in there to lead it off. First pitch is a strike call. This game is underway as Sabathia throws him a fastball to start him. B.J. hitting .230 for the year, .261 against lefties. It's 1-1.
And this is one of the guys that you'd like to see heated up here in the second half. I think we talked about Carl Crawford, Evan Longoria in the open, really driving this Rays offense the first half of the season. You'd love to see BJ start chipping in consistently.
He's behind in the count. 1-2. Sabathia 12-3, and he misses away right there. 2-2. Sabathia coming off a victory his last time out right before the All-Star break. He won his start against Seattle. And there's ball 3, down and in a bit.
That was a good take there by B.J. Upton. CC Sabathia started B.J. off with a nice fastball in to get ahead, then went away with the next 3 fastballs, try to close him with that slider down and in, and B.J. not biting on it. It's a good sign, seeing the ball well.
And a cut and a miss. Upton is out on strikes, missed the fastball.
Not well enough. Good fastball there by CC Sabathia coming back. Just powers this ball. Actually missed his spot, but he was able to get it past Upton. Wanted that ball down and away, ended up down and in, but he'll take the result.
And now it's Carl Crawford. Carl hitting .321. Pitch down and away. A ball and no strikes. Crawford fouls that one. It's 1-1. Some interesting developments on Sabathia as you analyze his season this year. Right-handed hitters hitting only .215 against him. A year ago they hit a little over .240, and over the span of enough at bats you figure that's probably going to even out. But left-handed hitters, it's an interesting situation here. It's Crawford rolls it foul, and it's 1-2. Last year left-handed hitters hit only .198 against them, but this year so far they're hitting .270. That's a significant difference.
Oh, that's a huge difference. I mean, you look at that, you know, you're talking 80 plus points there. You know, so many times left-handed starting pitchers, or left-handed pitchers in general.
Ground ball to short. Jeter up, and the throw to first is in time.
You see so many times left-handed pitchers, when they have trouble with left-handed hitters, so many times it's because you're a fastball breaking ball guy, and you don't feel comfortable throwing your changeup to a lefty because it's going to fade down and in, and you know that's a relatively new pitch for CC Sabathia. I mean, that was the pitch that really took him to the elite level, which is the changeup. So what you end up doing is you end up becoming a left-hander who faces a lefty and pitches them away all the time with nothing but fastballs and sliders, and you find that you don't pitch them in enough. And when you don't pitch left-handers in enough, then all of a sudden you become a guy that's throwing 2 pitches to just 1/2 of the plate. You become easier to hit. And so I thought it was interesting in that at-bat right there against Carl Crawford. He went 4 straight fastballs in on Carl. Maybe that's something that he's recognized here at the midway point.
Pitch is wide to Longoria, 2-0. So essentially what you're saying is that against right-handed hitters, that changeup just puts him at a different level in terms of being so effective. But if he's utilizing only 2 pitches against lefties, and it's pretty much same location, that could potentially be a problem. Cano takes care of that little pop off the bat of Longoria. The Rays are up and down 1-2-3. Bottom of the first coming, no score.
I'm so hard at my truck, and you can see that if you walk around it. I just think it's just the most well-built truck there is. You'd have to be crazy to buy anything but a Toyota truck.
While a Toyota may last a long time, the amazing deals and
Tonight's Rays broadcast on Sun Sports is presented in beautiful HD by H.H. Gregg. Take a look at the New York lineup tonight. Derek Jeter in the top spot, followed by Nick Swisher and Mark Teixeira. Alex Rodriguez hits cleanup with Robinson Cano in the number 5 spot in front of Jorge Posada. Curtis Granderson in center. Juan Miranda just back is the DH. Brett Gardner will hit 9th and play left.
Well, right-hander James Shields making his 19th start of the season. See the record 7-9, the ERA 4.87, just the 26 walks in 116 in the third innings. And you also see the 109 strikeouts on a career pace for strikeouts per 9 innings.
And he faces Jeter to make his first pitch of this game. Jeter hitting .274, and he lines it into right, and it's going to be caught by Kepler.
Well, let's take a look at that Rays defense as it lines up behind Shields, left to right in the outfield. Crawford, Upton, and Kepler across the infield, third to first. Longoria, Bartlett, Zobrist, and Pena. Kelly Shopik gets the call behind the plate. Tonight's defense is brought to you by Sweet Bay. Live fresh for less.
Here's Nick Swisher. Swisher making the All-Star team from the Yankees this year. Off a .298 average and 15 home runs, 49 runs batted in at the All-Star break, and the pitch is a strike. He checks on the pitch, and it's down. 1-1. Darryl Cousins is calling the balls and strikes, and it has to be a strike.
Yes, it does. Borderline will not go your way.
That's foul. Do you remember starting with him behind the plate?
I tried not to think about who was behind the plate. I needed that wide strike zone. I needed the Hirschbeck brothers. Those are the kind of guys I needed. Darryl Cousins and I did not get along.
Yeah, I just wondered how you handle that. I mean, as a starting pitcher, because you know that you're going to have to be on the plate.
Yeah, well, you know what? It is definitely something that you're forced to think about, because especially if you're going the second or third game of a series, if you're going game one, maybe you're not even aware of the umpiring crew, but you know where they are out on the field. You know how the rotation works. You know who you're going to get. And so sometimes you're like, I'm just going to have to be really, really good and have to change speeds and be excellent at it to have a chance.
And he strikes out Swisher.
When you talk about changing speeds, how about that right there? That is that James Shields A+ changeup, the one that he can keep right out over. You see this pitch right out over the plate. Nick Swisher sees this ball and says, wow, I got a pitch I can drive down in the zone out over the plate, and then it just disappears. You see that 10-inch drop on a changeup.
And I'll tell you what the encouraging thing about Shields was in his last outing. Even though he suffered the loss to the Cleveland Indians, he gave up 4 runs in 6 1/3 innings. Facing Teixeira now, 1 strike the count, and he struck out 9 in that game, but I'd have to go back and check, but I think at least 6 of those 9 strikeouts were on changeups. And I think if he gets back to that, he's better off, because that's his best pitch.
Yeah, you know, sometimes James Shields will get a little bit tricky with his other pitches. trying to backdoor the cutter, which is actually a good pitch for him, but sometimes he uses a little bit too much and tries to, like I said, he just tries to get a little bit too fancy out there. When he goes with the hard fastball, establishes that for a strike, pitches in with that good changeup, all those other pitches, the breaking balls that he can drop in there for strike one, the backdoor cutter, just become luxuries, really.
2-2 the count.
That changeup that he's able to throw, what makes it so effective is so many guys throw that changeup. They want to throw it to the outer half of the plate and have it fade off, get guys to chase. His is good enough. He can throw it right down the middle of the plate, and when the bottom drops out, he gets away with it, gets guys to swing over just like he did with Swisher.
It's almost as if he should complement that changeup with his fastball as opposed to the other way around.
It's almost a leading lady for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It is a plus pitch, no question about it. One of the best changeups in baseball.
3-2, and it's chopped foul. We'll see another full count pitch to Mark Teixeira. Hey, there's Jeff Neiman, and all of the reports we have on him would be it's a go for tomorrow. He left his last start after a short stint with a little tightness in his back. There's ball 4 too low. And that was a close pitch. Take a look at that one.
Well, here it is, full count. Shields coming with the fastball. He wants it down and away. It's middle of the plate down. Fox Track has it as a strike, but I'll tell you what, when Kelly Shopik, when you clank a ball like that, you don't really give the umpire. Daryl Cousins doesn't get a real good look at it. You're not going to get that call. That ball could have been down the middle.
That's
and
right.
If you clank it, no go.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. That'll be a strike. Fastball to start him. To the count. Well, Rodriguez is third in the league in runs batted in with 70. And he starts the night with 597 career home runs. This one getting away from Shopik, and the count is a ball, 2 strikes. Look at the home run list. He's trailing Sammy Sosa. Sosa's 6th with 609. Foul out of play. 1-2 still. Shields walked Teixeira on a very close pitch. 2 outs with a man aboard. And a little bounding ball toward the middle and through. Bartlett could not come up after a diving attempt. So Teixeira stops at second on the base hit. Bounding its way through the infield off the bat of Alex Rodriguez.
Now this was a front door cutter by James Shields that he threw to Alex Rodriguez, and that ball was not hit very hard. But Jason Bartlett playing way over in the hole. You see right here, just a chopper. That was to the left of second base, not hit very hard. Jason Bartlett not even able to get to it to knock it down. Had him pulled around way over in the hole, expecting Alex Rodriguez to pull that ball more, and it's able to sneak into center field for base hit.
Now Robinson Cano. And Cano, who's having a great year, has really been tough on Shields. That .336 average is the 5th best in the American League. And the first pitch strike, and against Shields, he's 13 out of 29, which figures out to a .448 average with a couple of home runs in that mix.
And a couple of triples and a couple of doubles. A lot of damage done by Robinson Cano.
That's just off the plate. 1-1. You might hear that a lot tonight. It's just off the plate.
I'm sensing an early theme.
Two balls and a strike.
Well, you can see that short porch out in right field and the success that Cano's had off of Shields, that he is pitching him carefully, trying to dot that outside corner.
Well, Shields finds himself in a spot here. You know, a 2-out walk that Foxtrack said was a strike. And then Rodriguez didn't hit the ball all that hard, and yet he's got 2 men on and a guy who has really had success against him in Cano, and he stays away again. 3-1.
Yeah, these last couple of fastballs, James Shields really pulling off. You can see him really whipping over towards first base, leaving that arm hanging out there a little bit. That ball you can see just darting off the plate. Not very competitive on those pitches.
3-1 the count. And there's a popper left side toward the line. Crawford is there and makes the catch inside the foul line to retire the side. New York strands 2, no score through 1.
I was in.
Rays coming in to hit in the second inning. No score. Pena, Zobrist, and Shopik due up here. Don't forget the Rays Summer Select 6-packs. They start at just $50. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or go to RaysBaseball.com. Available throughout the month of July and August. That's the Rays Summer Select 6-packs. Carlos Pena goes after the first pitch. That's a swing and a miss. Fastball to start him. Pena's had great success against Sabathia. 4 for 9 with 2 home runs off him.
Every time you talk about Carlos Pena and a starting pitcher, he has a home run off of, I think, all of them. Every guy you come across, he has at least 1 home run off him. He may not have the average. He may be 1 for 9, but that one is going to be a home run.
1-1 the count. Well, boy, I thought he finished right before the All-Star break in those handful of games, looking very good at the plate.
Well, he's going to have to, because you're going to see a lot here in this second half of kind of the Indians approach. You see he missed the fastball there by Sabathia, but the Indians approach, which was, you could tell by the way that those games went, that they said as a staff, we are not going to let Evan Longoria beat us. You know, he walked a bunch of times in that series. They pitched around him when it was necessary and when it was convenient for them to be able to get to Carlos Pena. So he's going to have to be productive so that Longoria continues to get pitches to hit.
He starts to go and did. He could not check. Jim Wolf down at third base as he went around. Second strikeout for Sabathia.
Well, that's tough. You know, you pitch the lefty in, misses the fastball, then the slider right down. Jim Wolf said just a little bit too far. That bat head came out. That's how you get to be effective against lefties as a left-handed pitcher, is pitching them in, because that is exactly what that pitch does. You pitch a guy in with the fastball, and then all of a sudden that slider away becomes that much more effective rather than always pitching away. And now they can, you know, kind of tee it up out there. They know where it's going to be, and they lean out there and smack it the other way. But when you pitch a guy in and keep him honest, now he waves at that slider.
A strike to count to Ben Zobrist. And deep third, and the throw from Rodriguez skips past Teixeira. Zobrist on his way to second base, and he's in there. The Rays have their first scoring opportunity of the night. Zobrist hitting it deep back of the bag, and as Rodriguez started to unleash his throw, you could see him lose part of his footing.
Yeah, right here. You see as he plants, a little bit of a slip, tries to really rifle that ball, then realizing he's got to hurry. That's where you want to be able to stop Plant. He does a good job of regaining his footing. Tries to skip the throw over there, but it gets by Teixeira, and Ben Zobrist alertly was able to pick that ball up and get down to second base.
So it's a base hit for Zobrist, an error charge to Rodriguez, his 6th of the year. Here's Kelly Shopping. Shopping shoots it through the right side. That's a base hit. Zobrist will stop at third base. He wasn't sure. The ball was not hit all that sharply, but had enough slice to it that it got by Cano, but Zobrist had a difficult time ascertaining that right away.
Yeah, from his angle, he didn't get a good look at it right here. You know, that's actually a smart play by Ben Zobrist. You want him to score on that, a base hit to the outfield, especially off a tough lefty like CC Sabathia, but you know, you're told, hey, get back on those line drives, freeze on a line drive, and from his vantage point, he couldn't tell if Cano could get to it or not, so not able to score, but still runners on first and third here. And Dwayne, you talked about it. Opportunities, the first opportunity to score, you've got to take advantage of them, off a guy like CC. We talked about how hot he has been as a starting pitcher, but in his last 5 starts, he's only given up 1 earned run in each of them.
Here's Ibar, and he chases that pitch. Strike 1. That was a fastball with some action.
Yeah, good sink. That's the pitch right there where CC will go to that 2-seamer to try to get that ground ball double play. There he gets a swing and a miss.
Ibar at 250 on the year. And the pitch is too close. 1-1. First and third, 1 out. Sabathia 8-0 in his last 8 starts with a 181 earned run average. There's a high fly ball back into center for Granderson. Zobrist will tag at third. He's on his way to the plate, and the Rays have the first run of this ball game. Sacrifice fly to center by Ibar. And Shopik remains at first. Ibar picks up his 24th run batted in.
A nice job by Willie there, being able to get that ball elevated and into the outfield to drive the run home. You know, Sabathia wanted nothing more than a double play ground ball, and Willie got a pitch he could elevate, and he did.
And here's Gabe Kapler. Fouls it, a roller up the left side for a strike. Well, Kapler's in the lineup tonight because Sean Rodriguez had some difficulty getting here. He had apparently some flooding situations with his living quarters and some airline connection problems. And so he's supposed to be on his way after all of that. He was in the lineup, but they moved Zobrist to second and put Kapler in right field, and Gabe's hitting out of the ace spot. So we'll see how that works out. How many times do you see a guy in the lineup when he's not supposed to, and he comes up with a key hit? The Rays are hoping that's the case tonight.
Someone needs to get Sean Rodriguez a pocket schedule.
This one is high. 2 balls and a strike. Zobrist has scored. Shopik's at first. And there's a fly ball to left. Gardner is there and makes the catch. Rays come up with a run. Bottom of inning 2 coming. 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Hey, what's going on, sweetie?
Hey, do you got a minute?
Yeah.
Are you alone?
Yeah.
Well, you know that thing we've been working on for a while now?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
You're gonna be a dad.
Give this job to my friend. He loves playing in the jungle.
Right. A team of legendary warriors on a mission. They weren't expected to survive.
To get out of here, it's a miracle.
Let's see what you got.
Bring it.
Boom.
Go. You know, it's not easy being your friend.
The Expendables. Rated R. In theaters August 13th.
Who's your cable provider?
We're with Bright House.
Has the weather ever affected your TV picture quality?
Yeah, it's like the picture breaks apart. There's rain and lightning and thunder, and you're perfectly happy watching a picture, and then all of a sudden, the main character's face, the eye goes this way, the nose goes that way, the mouth goes down here. So it's like eye, nose, mouth, and then the sound goes eh, eh, eh. It's not good.
Rays lead 1-0. We go to the bottom of the second inning. A look at the veteran plate umpire Darrell Cousins. Over 30 years of major league experience. And our Toyota trend, we've done a little research thanks to Aaron of Stats Inc. And hey, you know, you didn't fare all that badly, although the strikeout to walk ratio is not what you would want with Darrell Cousins behind the plate. But there you are.
How about that?
Huh? What do you think?
I don't think anything. I don't know how you guys find that stuff.
Well, Aaron at Stats Inc. There you are.
Well, yeah, I mean, 1-2 record, not very good. 13-13, not good. 1-1. I mean, I wasn't a big strikeout guy, but I usually didn't walk that many guys, which tells you how much I needed that one.
Well, I believe. Darrell says it's got to be a strike. Got to be on the plate. Here's Posada. The pitch is too low, a ball and no strikes. Posada, Granderson, and Miranda. 2-0.
Kelly Shopik needs to break that glove in. You got an ejecto mitt.
Yeah, where was that mitt during the break?
Seat cushion, I believe.
There's a strike. 2-1. That's going to square the count. 2-2 now. And he has Posada out in front. Strikes him out with a changeup. 2 strikeouts, both coming on changeups.
Yeah, 3 quick pitches there. 2 fastballs, and then here's the changeup. Even in the count, again, that's the good changeup. 8 inches down on that one. The good finish there, the good drop off. But once again, another changeup that he is able to throw out over the plate and let that late action taking it down out of the strike zone and still getting the hitter to chase.
Curtis Granderson takes a strike. You may have noticed that we have no introduction of the hitters as they come to the plate. And that's in memory of longtime public address announcer Bob Shepard, who passed away this past week at the age of 99. He was and is a class act. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And this is that part of the game that we talked about with James Shields really liking that quick tempo, good rhythm that he's in.
And a pop fly into left. Carl Crawford with a lot of time under it and makes the catch. 2 gone. As you know, Rays games are always fun, but they're more fun in a group. So get your crowd together and see the home team Rays as they take on a host of American League East rivals, including this New York ball club, starting Friday, July 30th through Sunday, August 1st. Call 888-FAN-RAYS to learn about group tickets to those games and others throughout the second half. Juan Miranda. He's just back up with the club. Up earlier, in fact, he had a home run off Shields here at Yankee Stadium back in May. Two outs with the bases empty. This guy is some kind of strong and can hit long home runs.
A very powerful stroke. If he squares it up, go a long way. It also helps too benefit from that short porch in right field here at Yankee Stadium. Beat a left-handed hitter and get pitches middle of the plate and in, turn on him. These balls will get out of here in a hurry.
Shopik and Shields want to get together. You know, Miranda, and I don't know exactly what this is about other than pitch selection, but Miranda hit that home run off Shields on a changeup. But I don't know. What do you think? If that's your best pitch, you set him up for that.
Well, you know, earlier in the year too, James Shields' his changeup. You know, some nights it's on, some nights it's off. Sometimes it just gets that fade action. If those balls stay elevated, they are very, very hittable. The one that he's got going tonight, I wouldn't shy away from throwing that to anybody because he's got the good depth on it. And you can see that with a couple of strikeouts that he's gotten on changeups that have been right out and over the plate. Other nights when he started to get a little bit, you know, rotational in his delivery, the ball comes out sideways and just kind of fades, you know, up into the strike zone, thigh high. Well, those become basically batting practice pitches and they get crushed.
He missed with a fastball there to run the count to 3-1. Shields 7-9 on the year coming in. And a high pop up right side. Foul ball now. Zobrist out from second. Takes care of that one to retire the side. We're through 2 and the Rays lead 1-0.
My perfect match? Attractive. But a soft side. Appreciates luxury. Basically, I'm looking for my queen.
Need new furniture? Save over $200 on a Mandalay Collection bedroom set. Plus, get a free 32-inch HD TV when you buy one of these mattresses. And save up to $100 on refrigerators and freezers. And for credit you can actually get, Badcock makes it easy.
Badcock and more makes it easy.
I wanted to get into golf from the time I was a young kid. I knew there was this great game out there that I loved to play. I really didn't know what the possibilities were. And the Golf Academy of America opened my eyes to all these different avenues that the industry had, because golf is not only a sport, but it's also a very large industry. There's a wide range of opportunities in the golf business that the Academy can open your eyes to. We have a million different directions you can go in the sport, and the Golf Academy offers you an opportunity to go in any one of those directions.
This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, it's an AL East showdown in the Big Apple as A-Rod and Jeter lead the Yankees against Longoria and the Rays. Or we're in St. Louis, where Pujols and the Cardinals clash with the Dodgers. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. This week, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
Get your teams on your schedule. The all-new FoxSportsFlorida.com. Your all-access pass to your favorite Florida teams. Exclusive news, game highlights, live scoring, and more. Your home for your Florida sports. FoxSportsFlorida.com.
Rays lead 1-0 through 2. In tonight's game and all season long, Tires Plus will donate $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run, televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida.
And on to the third we go. Jason Bartlett leads it off, and he shoots a base hit into center field, jumping on the first pitch. And Bartlett, who's had a few hits off the left-hander Sabathia, didn't waste any time right there.
Well, Jason Bartlett, yeah, first pitch, you get a fastball, elevated. It was away, but elevated. You can reach those, and he takes it right back up the middle. That leadoff single. Ended the first half with a walk-off hit.
Yeah, had to hit off Kerry Wood to hand Cleveland a 6-5 loss in 10 innings.
He's one of the other principals you'd like to see heated up. You know, we talked a little bit about Upton, a little bit about Pena. Jason Bartlett, same thing. Batting average this year way below his career average.
Upton shortens and misses that pitch. That's a strike. You know, it's interesting, and I chatted with Joe Madden a little bit before the game about his lineup and the idea that he had Upton leading off, who's got good numbers against Sabathia, but Bartlett also has had pretty good numbers against Sabathia, and I asked Madden about how much thought he gave to maybe leading Bartlett off in this game against Sabathia and putting BJ down in maybe a little bit more of a run production role, 6th or so in the lineup. And he gave it some thought, but what he had said, and it makes sense, two things. With Upton, who struggled, he wants to keep him semi-regular in where he hits in the spot in the lineup against right-handers or left-handers. And he's talked to him about putting him in the leadoff spot. And the other thing he said about Bartlett, and he told Bartlett, he says, when you get hot again, you're going to go back into that leadoff spot. So he's just waiting for Bartlett to get hot to put him in the leadoff spot again.
And keep him down there in the 9-hole. Let him get comfortable there. Get comfortable swinging the bat. When he breaks out of it, as we all expect that he will, then you can make that move, because I think that's huge for this lineup. I mean, how many teams out there don't know who their leadoff guy is going to be on a night-to-night basis? I mean, it could be one of 3 or 4 guys with the Rays, and I think when you've got a championship aspirations, a ball club that has championship aspirations, you really need the front end of that lineup to be solid night in and night out. And thus far, it has not been that way. It's been a mix and match, all season long. And really, Joe's in a funny spot there, because you want to put out a productive lineup. You would love to have it set, but if it's not producing, you got to try to find something that works.
Yeah, Madden said before the break that he would prefer a set lineup.
Sure.
And I guess any manager would, unless perhaps you were Casey Stengel, who really engineered the platoon situation when he's managing here with the Yankees years ago. Upton called out on strikes. Speaking of those two guys, Upton and Bartlett, our poll question tonight brought to you by Autoway. Call 1-800-SHOP-AUTOWAY. Who do the Rays need to step up in the second half? 1, B.J. Upton. 2, Jason Bartlett. 3, Carlos Pena. Or 4, James Shields. Text your vote to 789-789. Standard message and data rights apply. Here's Carl Crawford. Pitch is down. 1 ball, no strikes.
And that's going to be an interesting poll to see how that turns out, because you can make a great case for all 4 of those guys.
Yeah, perhaps there should have been all of the above.
Right.
There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Well, right now they're 2 games back of the Yankees, and you truly have to figure that the Rays are a postseason team. But if they're to overtake the Yankees, if they're going to win the East, you can make a strong case that all 4 of those guys need to have a good second half.
Yep. And there's no reason to. These guys are more than capable. I mean, right now, the 3 hitters, when you're talking about Upton, Pena, Bartlett, those guys are all hitting significantly under their career averages. And you really got to believe that James Shields is going to kind of morph back into that form that he was in his first 9 starts, where he was 5-1 with a 3.09 earned run average. Has really struggled as of late, but you can see him starting to put it back together.
1-2 the count to Crawford. And Carl checks on this one. Took a look. 2-2. Carl grounded to Jeter in the first inning. And another pitch down and away. There was a time in Carl's career when a pitch down there, whether it's a fastball down and away or a slider, ended the at bat. But the last couple years, he's really worked on extending at bats, and it seems to me about at least 50% of the time he can defeat that pitch to extend the at bat. Bartlett, the runner at first, he opened with a base hit. And a little chopper first base side. Teixeira takes it to the bag, and boy, it's always exciting, even on something like that with Crawford. Teixeira beat him in, and up to second goes Bartlett.
Well, that's a play right there where Mark Teixeira is scared to death that he's not going to be able to get to first. He's got to wait for the chop to make the play, and he knows who's running. Watch Carl just, I mean, he's almost full speed out of the box. The tremendous burst of Carl Crawford almost got him an infield hit there on a ball that wasn't that far off of first base.
Well, here's Evan Longoria now with Bartlett at second. Evan came into the game 3 out of 8 with 2 home runs against Sabathia. Fastball missed. 1 ball, no strikes. And a turn, but nothing doing.
I don't know where CC thinks Jason Bartlett's going to go. 2 outs here, already in scoring position with Evan Longoria at the plate. It'd be very foolish to try to steal third base in this situation.
And that's a strike, 1-1. Rays scored a run in the second inning. One ball, 2 strikes.
Good breaking ball there by Sabathia. Really good. Dropping that right under the bat of Longoria, down and in.
Evan behind in the count. And a line drive. That's a fair ball on the left field line. Bartlett scores. The ball kicking away from Gardner, and into second base goes Longoria. The Rays lead 2-0. Right on that left field line. Back a third.
Well, Sabathia got Evan to swing over the slider, tries to come back in there and close him out with a fastball, but Evan's hands quick enough to get to that ball, get it over Alex Rodriguez's head, and keep it fair. Right on the chalk. You see the white chalk kick up there as the ball hit it. Drives in the Rays' second run.
It's 28 doubles on the year now for Longoria. Here's Carlos Pena missing the first pitch. That's a strike. So that puts Evan into a first place tie in the American League for the most doubles, with Nick Markakis of Baltimore cut and a miss, 2 strikes. And Josh Hamilton of the Texas Rangers also has 28 doubles, along with Longoria. Carlos down 2 strikes. He struck out his first time trying to check his swing on a slider. And he's out this time on the breaking ball. So Sabathia strikes out Pena, but the Rays get a run and they lead 2-0.
It can happen anytime. An everyday moment can turn romantic at a moment's notice. And when it does, men with erectile dysfunction can be more confident in their ability to be ready with Cialis for daily use. Cialis for daily use is a clinically proven low-dose tablet you take every day, so you can be ready anytime the moment's right for you and your partner.
Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity.
Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure.
Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Ask your doctor if Cialis for daily use is right for you. For a 30-tablet free trial offer, go to Cialis.com.
I'm so hard at my truck, and you can see that if you walk around it. I just think it's just the most well-built truck there is. You'd have to be crazy to buy anything but a Toyota truck.
While a Toyota may last a long time, the amazing deals and great selection won't during Toyota's National Clearance Event. Now get 1.9% APR financing for 60 months with no payments for 90 days on a new 2010 Toyota Tundra. Plus, get complimentary Toyota maintenance with your purchase. Toyota, durability to move you forward.
Rays baseball brought to you by Buddy's Home Furnishings, where there's no credit needed and up to 6 months, same as cash. And by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Rays have a 2-0 lead. Let's check in with Todd Callis.
Dwayne, pregame was a little bit different today here at the new Yankee Stadium. A bit somber as there were moments of silence in memory of both the longtime PA announcer Bob Shepard and, of course, the owner George Steinbrenner. And Mr. Steinbrenner was honored before the game along with Bob Shepard. Mariano Rivera placing 2 roses at home plate prior to the game. Then the captain, Derek Jeter, had a few words to say, an eloquent speech to the crowd. And all season long, the Yankees will continue to remember those 2 legends in their franchise history. They will wear the patch on the sleeve for Bob Shepard, and they will have above their hearts for both home and away the GMS George Steinbrenner. There you see the Bob Shepard patch, and above the heart and the interlocking NY is the George Steinbrenner logo. Guys, Steinbrenner did a lot, obviously, for this franchise and also for the Tampa Bay area with his altruistic ways, impacting a lot of people. Back to you.
All righty, thank you very much. The count is 1-1, and I always thought that it was somewhat ironic that sometimes, and as we all know, his competitive nature, a couple of the elements that he would battle the most, and that would be players and agents, because of his willingness to jump into free agency with both feet all the way back to the Catfish Hunter days. He probably did more, save for perhaps Marvin Miller. He may have done more for players and agents, for that matter, to enrich those 2 groups of people in this game than anybody who's ever been associated with it. And it was really the ushering in of an entirely different era that made a profit really out of Marvin Miller, because he had said that free agency would catapult baseball into even a greater economic force than it had been leading up to that time. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, think about just in recent memory. Think back over the years and think of a year when the Yankees, and by virtue of that, George Steinbrenner didn't set the market for free agency.
Sure.
I mean, that's exactly, and every single year, and all the other players that would sign after that benefit from that. And he did that because his #1 goal while he was on this earth and control this franchise was to win, period, end of discussion, and he did not mind having to spend in order to do that.
Yeah, and he had he had a great market in New York to capitalize on, to exploit. And he did exactly that, as you would expect in a competitive situation that one might. And so he bought a franchise. At the time, it was a storied franchise, but was headed in the wrong direction, and took advantage of a market that allowed him to do those things and a willingness to do it. And as a result, player salaries escalated, and with that came a major escalation in revenues throughout the sport. And so there was tremendous growth over the decades that he was involved here with this franchise, not only with this team, but with all of baseball. Here's Derek Jeter. That's not to say that the game in some areas didn't have problems financially in some markets, but that was always the case even before free agency. I mean, you look at the history of baseball and the St. Louis Browns and the old Washington Senators. There were teams, even the Philadelphia Athletics, who wound up in Kansas City. They always had financial challenges, but the entire market, you saw the water level increase as a result of that activity of free agency and the willingness to be involved in it. Runner at first as Brett Gardner has walked. Derek Jeter up here, 1 strike to count. That's how Brian Anderson made the big bucks as a player.
Yeah.
And that's great. 0-1 the count. A little tap to short. Tough play. Bartlett up with a throw to first in time, and into second base goes Gardner.
You saw Jason Bartlett there making a nice play, but you saw his feet even shift a little bit. Like the dirt out in the infield's a little bit loose. Saw Alex Rodriguez do it a little bit earlier. You see it right there. It comes up a little bit loose, but he keeps his footing, makes a nice throw on the run to get Jeter for the first out. Watch that back foot right there.
Apparently it's a very soft track.
Yeah. Grounds crew getting a little aggressive out there with the watering down, trying to slow this Rays team and all their speed down.
The Rays have stolen over twice as many bases as the Yankees, and that all factors into that.
Well, there you go. I mean, you see that turf out there, that dirt being loose like that. Not easy to get good jumps and be able to steal bags if it's that loose.
Breaking ball from Shields, down and in to Swisher. 1 ball, no strikes.
And by the way, the game started an hour ago. To still have it that wet out there, it means they really soaked it down.
One and one the count. Now, don't you think that a team like the Texas Rangers would love to be able to do that to their ballpark, but their infield only gets harder and harder?
Yeah, well, that infield there doesn't stand a chance. That Texas heat just beats it down. I don't care how much water you dump on it.
Ground ball, and it's past the diving Pena up the right field side. Kapler over to hold Swisher to a single as Gardner scores. That makes it a 2-1 game. And a nice job there by Kapler to keep that a base hit.
Well, that's one thing you could say about Gabe Kapler is when he's in the outfield, out playing in the ball game, you're going to get 100% on every single play. This ball gets over the glove of Carlos Pena. Looks like it's got double written all over it. But Gabe Kapler hustling over there. Nick Swisher sees him come up with it, wisely decides to hold up at first base, does knock in the run to cut the Rays lead to 2-1. But Kapler keeps another base runner from being in scoring position.
Now it's Mark Teixeira, and a fastball is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, the Rays put the leadoff man on in the top of the inning. He scored. The Yankees put the leadoff man on in the bottom of the inning, and they have scored.
Leadoff walk, no less. One of those baseball sins.
There's the strike. It's 1-1. One on, one out. Shift is on for Teixeira. And he's out in front of the change and pops it into shallow center. Upton makes the catch. So Teixeira is the second out.
Sign up at Kane's Furniture for a chance to meet one of your favorite Rays players. And if the Rays pitchers strike out 10 in today's game, log on to canestrikeout.com and get a coupon for a free Papa John's pizza. Get to Kane's today.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez singled into center his first time. Bounding ball to third. Longoria down to Zobrist. That retires the side. We are at the end of 3. It's 2-1 Tampa Bay.
They needed somebody to take the blame.
I'm innocent! Somebody is setting me up!
We bring her in or we bring her down.
They took everything from me. I'm not a Russian spy.
She was telling the truth. All hell's about to break loose. She's here.
Salt, rated PG-13. At the all-new AutoWay.com, you get one thing most car dealers don't give you. Answers.
Do you have fuel-efficient cars and trucks?
AutoWay.com has identified thousands of fuel-efficient e-vehicles for you. Just look for the green leaf.
Can I see the MPG of any car or truck?
Absolutely. At AutoWay.com, you'll clearly see the MPG of every car and truck we sell. Questions? Answers. The all-new AutoWay.com.
Are you aware that Verizon Fios brings fiber optics to your home and Bright House doesn't?
Yes.
I read that.
I do know that.
Yes, but there's a contract.
Verizon, they want you to have a 2-year contract.
I got commitment issues.
No one likes to be tied down.
So if they didn't lock you into a term contract, you'd consider switching? Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
It's a no-brainer. Because now with Verizon Fios, you don't have to sign a term contract.
Really?
That's terrific.
Did not know that. I'm in.
Tampa spoke. Verizon listened. Switch to Fios today. Now with no term contract required. It's time for Fios.
It's a showdown in the Big Apple as Jeter leads the Yankees against the Rays. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. This week, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
2-1, the Rays lead as this game moves into the 4th inning tonight. Time for our AT&T mobility trivia question. And that question is, how many times have the Rays had a winning record in the second half of a season? That's our trivia question tonight. Now Ben Zobrist leads it off and sends a high fly ball back into straightaway center. Granderson all the way to the track, and a step from the wall makes the catch. His momentum carrying him into that wall out there, and Zobrist gave it a ride, but it stayed in the ballpark.
Now 408 feet to straightaway center field. Another little ambush here by Rays hitters. Ben Zobrist gets a fastball that he can get extended on. Drills this thing, but to the biggest part of the field, and Curtis Granderson's able to run it down.
But Kelly Shopik jumped on the first pitch. and lined a base hit into right field in the second inning. The pitch is a strike. The Rays tonight have 2 runs, 4 hits. The Yankees a run, 2 hits. One and one to count. Shopik behind, and the count now 1-2. The Rays have won 10 of their last 12. The Yankees have won 9 of 11. All of that going into the All-Star break, and New York leading the Rays by 2 full games in the East. And Shopik just got a piece of that one to stay alive. Two balls, 2 strikes. One-run ball game. The Rays have won 3 of 5 from the Yankees in the season series. 2-0 here in New York. This one rolled to the shortstop, Jeter. 2 gone. 2 up, 2 down.
For the news that touches your life, turn to the St. Petersburg Times, winner of 2 2009 Pulitzer Prizes for excellence in journalism. To subscribe to the Times, which by the way is the official newspaper of the Tampa Bay Rays, call 877-THE-TIMES or visit tampabay.com.
That's pretty convincing. Here's Willie Ibar. Pitch is high, 1 ball, no strikes. One and one. Ibar getting the start tonight as the DH. It's his 33rd start of the year, and 31 of those have been as the DH. The other 2 at first. And he shortens and got the bat back in time on a fastball. 2 balls and a strike. Ibar picked up the first RBI of this game with a fly ball to center. Now he's ahead of the count, 3-1.
Well, we've seen that from CC Sabathia here in the last few fastballs he's tried to go away with, missing an awful lot of them up and away. Not really getting through that pitch.
Full count. Ball strike right there. Base is empty, 2 gone. The 3-2 pitch. Ibar stays alive, fouling that one off. That was, I think, a 3-2 slider right there. In on Ibar.
Right now, he's not feeling comfortable with that fastball away. He has been pretty good with that slider, so why not? Willie Ibar, a good fastball hitter.
Three-two, and he walks him. So the Rays get a base runner with 2 outs.
No, he'd been missing with that fastball, up and away, tried to make the adjustment there, and that was an over adjustment. Threw that ball right into the ground. Just not feeling comfortable with that pitch in that spot right now.
Joe Girardi and Dave Island looking on. Island, the pitching coach. And Gabe Kapler, the hitter for the Rays. One pitch fighting down and in. Up again with the fastball, same spot.
And he's wearing that spot out with that heater. He's just not getting through that pitch, no extension. The body's getting a little ahead of the arm, and when that happens, you're going to leave pitches arm side up. It's a scary feeling for a pitcher to be out there, and a guy who normally has pretty good command or a real good idea where he's throwing the ball, to not really have a clue right now on that pitch.
And a foul back. That's down the right side and out of play. Kapler fouls off the fastball.
It was a much better fastball there by Sabathia, and that's where, you know, having a catcher like Posada who's seen an awful lot and pays attention to his pitcher's mechanics can sometimes go out there and just give him one reminder, give your pitcher one reminder that's going to get him back on track.
Ground ball to third. Rodriguez takes it to second to Cano, and the Rays are finished. Into fourth, bottom of the inning coming, 2-1 Tampa Bay. 2-1, Rays lead the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning tonight. Just a reminder, be on the lookout for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment coming up later in the game tonight. Especially on a warm night as we have here in the Bronx. It tastes even better. And let's get the answer to our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. How many times have the Rays had a winning record in the second half of the season? The answer to that would be 2. There you go. Finished last year game under 500 in the second half. 05 they had that run, and then 08 of course the magical season for the Rays. Here's Robinson Cano. 1 ball, no strikes. Cano, Posada, and then Granderson. Always a good sign when you can keep this guy off the bases, because he is a very good hitter. He's now 6th in the league in slugging percentage. When you think about it, his slugging percentage is better than Alex Rodriguez, against better than Teixeira. He pops it up, and Pena takes care of that. So that is a very big first out, with Cano leading off the inning.
A really nice pitch there by Shields, coming up and in with a cutter. He got that way in on the hands of Cano. See this pitch here, just cutting that in off the plate and up. Lazy little pop up to Pena.
Now it's Jorge Posada. Couple of strikeouts tonight for Shields. Posada was number 2. He got him on a changeup. 1 ball, no strikes. Shields behind Posada, 2 balls, no strikes. Three and 0. Shields pitched well in the last start he made at Old Yankee Stadium, and then pitched well his last start here. Although he walks Posada on 4 pitches, and that's going to be the 3rd walk he's given up.
Stop into any Bay Area Beef O'Brady's restaurant and sign up your mom to win a Rays VIP fan pack consisting of a meet and greet with a Rays player, Rays jersey, tickets, field passes, and a $100 gift card to Beef's. Deadline to enter is August 15th. See you at Beef's. That's a pretty good VIP fan pack right there.
Yes, it is.
Thinking about signing up my mom.
Yeah, she would appreciate it.
Yes.
You being the dutiful and loving son that you are.
She just wants to get back to Florida, that's all. It has nothing to do with me.
Here's Curtis Granderson. There's a strike. Granderson hit a fly ball into left his first time. Oh, 2. Granderson missed about a month with that strained left groin. A 2-strike count on him right now. And a nice stop by Shopping.
And it's nice to have a catcher back there that you trust to be able to throw that pitch. That's the pitch that Shields is looking to get a strikeout with, so he's going to keep that ball down. Good chance it's going to be in the dirt. You got a catcher back there that you know is going to work for you. You do not hesitate to throw it.
Taps it foul, holding the count. At a ball, 2 strikes. And he got him. Granderson, strikeout number 3 for Shields.
Shields coming with that backdoor cutter that he likes to throw so much to lefties. Not the best spot for it. That ball ended up right down the middle of the plate.
And that's really what scares you about that pitch.
Well, that's exactly right, and that's why you've got to be very judicious with it, with how you use that, because that is the danger. You yank that pitch just a little bit, and it becomes basically, an 86, 87 mile an hour spinner that's going to end up in the middle of the plate. Those balls get hammered. If it's executed, you pick up a lot of strikeouts looking, because a hitter will give up on it, thinking it's a fastball away. You get that little bit of a cut at the end. It catches the outside corner. He gets rung up. But if you don't execute it, it ends up in that spot right there. Fortunately, Granderson swung through it.
Juan Miranda, the hitter. His first big league home run against the Rays in '09, hit another home run earlier this year off Shields. Shields got him to pop up. Lifted a foul ball up the right side in the second inning, but Zobrist out from second base made the catch on. 2-1 now. The Rays have the shift employed with Miranda at the plate. That's Bartlett where the normal second baseman would be positioned. There's a strike. I guess I really should say where the second baseman would normally be positioned. That second baseman is normal and sometimes extraordinary. So it's a 2-2 count on Miranda.
You see in that shot there how far Ben Zobrist is out in the outfield and pulled around way in the hole at second base.
A little low right there. Full count.
He tried to go back with that cutter.
So Posada's at first, 2 outs, a 3-2 count. So he'll be off with a pitch. And Miranda strikes out. He had him out in front. Strikeout number 4. We're through 4 and the Rays lead 2-1. We're in the Bronx tonight as the Rays begin this series against New York, and as they come in to hit in the 5th, the Rays hold a 2-1 lead facing left-hander CC Sabathia. Jason Bartlett opened the 3rd with a base hit and scored what right now is the difference in this game. And he takes a breaking ball. And that's a strike. And a soft liner is going to fall in front of Granderson for a base hit. And Bartlett is 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, there's your leadoff hitter tomorrow night. 2 for 2 qualifies as hot in my book.
Well, when he starts swinging the bat better, he's going to go right back up there, says Joe Madden. And he's 2 for 2 off the lefty Sabathia tonight.
And you know what you like about those hits? Now, obviously, that was a fastball in that he had to fight off, but he's gone right back up the middle. You start to see the ball, longer than normal. Instead of trying to jump out there and pull everything, you see the ball just a little bit longer. And if it's away from you and you get extended, you shoot it up the middle or the other way. And that's where his 2 hits have gone tonight. It's a nice sign.
1-0 the count as Upton took that pitch up and in. He was showing bunt. Rays with a leadoff base hit from Bartlett. And again, he shows bunt, takes the pitch upstairs. 2-0. And ball 3.
Sabathia getting erratic again on that fastball. You can see he's trying to go to the slide step, just picking that front leg up and going towards home plate, and he's just getting ahead of himself, getting the front side going a little bit too quick.
And he walks Upton. And the Rays have put the first 2 men on base now. The walk to Upton pushes Bartlett into second base.
You can see that he just does not feel comfortable mechanically out there right now, trying to find it. The Rays have a nice opportunity here to put something together against this tough starter.
Carl Crawford will step in. A couple of ground balls for Crawford tonight. One to short and a tap down to first. 2 men on with nobody out. Crawford lines a base hit into right. Swisher up with it. They're going to have to hold Bartlett at third. So Swisher coming in from that short right field. Charge the ball and the bases are loaded. Crawford has his first hit.
Well, CeCe, nice job of going out and getting a tough slider. You see that ball was breaking off the plate, but he's able to get out there with enough wrist to flip that ball over the head of Robinson Cano, get it out there into right field. Not easy to do on a tough pitch like that.
Now Evan Longoria, who doubled in a run in the third, bats here with the bases loaded and nobody out in the fifth. And he swings and misses, strike one. Well, the Yankees have been the Grand Slam team this year. The Rays have the bases loaded right now. And a ground ball down to third. Rodriguez to second, out over to first. Double play. Bartlett crosses the plate. The Rays pick up their third run, and again they're up by 2 as Longoria grounds into a 5-4-3 double play, and Upton goes to third.
I'll tell you what, that was a well-turned double play too. Alex Rodriguez getting to that ball. You see Jason Bartlett, bases are loaded, he's got to go, but you see right here the turn by Cano, throwing that ball on the run, trying to avoid getting tangled up down there at second base. That was a really nice turn there by Robinson Cano. Get rid of that ball on the run after coming across second base.
Here's Carlos Pena, and the Yankees have the shift on. 1 ball, no strikes. So the Rays again have that 2-run lead. It's 3-1. Boy, a base hit here by Pena would be big to pick up this additional run down at third. And he lays off as that ball swept outside. 2-0 the count.
With this Yankee power that they have sprinkled throughout their lineup, you just want to keep adding on. You get these opportunities. You got a big hole there to the left side if he's going to pitch you away. Perfect opportunity to Carlos Pena to hit a ball hard the other way and extend this lead.
Three and 0. Carlos takes it for a strike. Well, in 2 of the innings now, the Rays have put the leadoff man on, and in both of those innings they've scored that runner. Man at third, 2 outs. And Pena walks. So it's the second walk of the inning. And Ben Zobrist is on his way to the plate. And is now 7 of 19 against Sabathia, with a couple of home runs in his career off him. He drove Granderson to the wall in center field his last time up. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike.
That's what Sabathia remembered going to that pitch. He threw him a first pitch fastball the last at bat, and Zobrist put a charge into it. Here he starts him off with a slow breaking ball.
Now he has the jump on him. Followed the breaking ball with a good fastball. Mid-90s, and the count is 0-2. Rays with a run in the second, a run in the third. They have a run in the fifth. Men at first and third with 2 outs. And it's covered up by Posada. 1-2. Sabathia delivers, and he misses down and in. 2-2 now. You know, Sabathia's strikes to non-strikes, not what he would like. 48 strikes and 34 non-strikes.
Yeah, he just hasn't been very comfortable, especially out of the stretch tonight. And yeah, very uncharacteristic of CC Sabathia.
And he goes full to Zobrist. 3-2 after he got ahead of him. 0-2.
You got an umpire behind the plate that notoriously is known throughout the league as having a very tight strike zone, and mechanically you're not really feeling it tonight. That's a tough combination if you're CC Sabathia.
3-2 and strike 3 call. Zobrist thought he'd drawn the walk and instead is called out on strikes. The Rays lead 2, they score 1. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and it's 3-1 Tampa Bay.
My perfect
is on the railing after that called third strike to Ben Zobrist. And we checked Fox Track, and it's on the very, very bottom of the strike zone. I had a suspicion that Fox Track might have liked that one, but we saw David Price and Matt Garza, and they're joined by Jeff Neiman there, and it's a strike by Fox Track.
Well, but they're reacting to the way that Jorge Posada catches that ball, and I'm sorry, I see it. Fox Tracks liked it, but gosh, does that ball look like it was down below the knees. And it doesn't help when you have a catcher turning his glove over like that, catching the ball in that manner. A lot of times you don't get that call because of how awkwardly it was called or caught. Darryl Cousins did give him the call, but boy, does that ball look like it was down.
Well, it's surprising, particularly because it is Darryl Cousins.
And a guy that's struggling with his command.
Yeah.
Those borderline pitches, when you're kind of all over the place, you usually do not get them.
Now here's Gardner. Gardner walked his first time. Gardner's on-base percentage is among the league leaders. He's hitting 9th, but he's 6th in the league in on-base percentage. Takes another pitch for a strike. He's had a great year for the Yankees here. Came into the game hitting .309. And he lifts a fly ball short center. Upton coming straight in. He got it. Upton coming straight ahead. Made the catch, and out there Marvin Hudson on the call. And they keep the leadoff man Gardner off the bases. Upton utilizing that speed right there to make a nice play.
Yes, he did. That was a one of those full swings. You get fooled a little bit, but B.J. Upton needed every bit of that speed. There's your Amscott replay. He comes in with the slide, picks that ball right off the turf, coming from out there in center field, had to come a long way. Tremendous play, B.J. Upton.
It's so important to keep Gardner off the bases with Jeter and Swisher and the rest of this lineup following.
Thinking the same thing. The leadoff man, he gets on, and all of a sudden the lineup flips over, and you've got the big boppers coming up in a close game here.
And a check swing roller. Shields takes care of that. And Jeter is out of there. 2 up, 2 down. Time to look forward now at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color, as the Rays begin this series against the Yankees. Then on to Baltimore and to Cleveland before the Rays are home on the 26th against Detroit. Tomorrow, Jeff Neiman and A.J. Burnett square off David Price and Andy Pettit in Game 3 of this series. And as we look forward to the upcoming schedule, you can live forward with Just for Men Hair Color. 2 outs. Here's Nick Swisher. Swisher hits one deep down the right side, and it's foul. So Swisher jumped on the first pitch. A fastball and pulled it just foul.
Well, that looked pretty, but as a pitcher, we like to think of it as strike one.
Swisher sends a high fly ball to right. Kepler back in front of the wall. He leaps. Did he get it? He got it. Kepler made the catch in right center field. He went back to the wall and made a leaping grab. And there's the play we've been looking for out of the late insertion into the starting lineup. Gabe Kepler brings this one back. And the Rays continue to hold a 3-1 lead through 5.
Nick Swisher and Gabe Kepler going high up there, taking that ball right off the top of the fence, and you better believe it. Your pitcher out there appreciates plays like that. B.J. Upton made a nice play to start the inning off. Gabe Kepler with a better play to end it.
Kelly Shopik takes a breaking ball, and that's in there for a strike. So it's Shopik, Ibar, and Kepler. You know, it's not the best breaking ball that he's thrown, but it's also not the worst. And that ball was not hit all that well. But here, and as you noted, there's a high fly ball up the right side, back toward the corner, and Swisher misplays it. Shopik's on his way to second, and he's going to stop right there. Swisher overran that ball and tried to come back and could not make the correction.
I think Nick Swisher's still thinking about the potential extra base hit / home run that he missed out on. This was just a routine fly ball, and you could see that's exactly right, Dwayne. He overran it right there. Realizes it too late to go back out, sticks the glove out, can't come up with it. These people out in right field, you know, are letting him hear it right now.
So the Rays have Shopik at second with nobody out. And Willie Ibar about to step in. Willie has a sacrifice fly and a walk tonight. And he puts down a bunt. That's going to be a fair ball. Ibar's tagged out, but Shopik alertly moves into third. So Ibar advances the runner to third. How
nice
about
job,
that?
Willie Ibar. Get the bunt down. It's fundamental baseball. You see this. That ball actually started out behind home plate.
that Posada lets that ball roll right across home plate out into fair territory. You see right here, down behind the plate, but look at that. Doesn't have to be pretty, though. It all has to do is be effective, and he got the runner over.
Yeah, the infield comes in from Gabe Kapler.
Much like his hair, doesn't have to be pretty, just has to be effective.
Kapler just trying to make contact there through the drawn-in infield, fouls it. 1 strike the count. So Ibar gets a sacrifice by moving Shopik over. Kapler looking for contact here.
And I'm not even sure if it's effective.
He fouls it back, 0-2. We're in the top half of inning 6. Takes that one down. A ball, 2 strikes. We're talking about the ball that Kapler caught that Swisher hit. It left the bat more like a high fly ball, but and you pointed this out in batting practice, the ball was just flying out of here.
Oh wow, yeah. He had Marcus Thames taking some inside out swings, putting balls 8-10 rows deep into right center field.
And there's a little popper into short right field. Swisher's there to make the catch on this one, and no chance for Shopik, so he remains at third. 2 outs now, and Jason Bartlett will be the hitter. He's 2 for 2 tonight against Sabathia. He singled and scored in the 3rd. He singled and scored in the 5th, leading off both those innings. Dave Island, the pitching coach, out.
Yeah, coming out and realizing what an important spot in this game is. It's getting late, top of the 6th. Ray's already up by 2 runs and looking to add on to a guy who's already got 2 hits off your starting pitcher. So he's out there to make sure everybody's on the same page and that there is a coordinated plan of attack here.
So here's Bartlett and Sabathia once again. And it's down and away, a fastball. Now the Rays have had men on base in every inning except the 1st. They've had men in scoring position now in 4 of the 6 innings. They have 3 runs tonight. And a little tap, shortstop, Jeter up, and a quick release gets Bartlett. And the Rays leave Shopik at third. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 Rays.
It is 3-1 Rays as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Want to tell you about the Rays Baseball Foundation broadcast fundraiser coming up on July 28th, but there's a twist to this year's fundraiser because you can start the bidding right now if you want. July 28th will be the last day you can bid during our telecast of the Rays against the Tigers. You can bid on items like a trip for 2 to Toronto, a baseball clinic courtesy of Ben Zobrist down in Port Charlotte, a Rays broadcasters package, the Ray for a day, and the special Joe Madden Summer Social held at the Whitney Bank Club. That'll be Sunday, August 15th. Log on to RaysBaseball.com. It's only open to the first 200 fans that are able to jump on board. So, guys, that'll be our Rays broadcast auction, the broadcast fundraiser, July 28th. Back to you.
And you can get a head start. That's a great idea. The Rays trying to get a head start in this series. They lead 3-1. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Middle of the order, Teixeira, Rodriguez, and Cano coming up. So Shields, who made just 6 pitches in the 5th, opens the 6th, a very important frame. 1-0 the count. 1-1.
Good curveball there. Shields taking that ball out of the zone.
That's the other thing about Shields. Besides the changeup and that good velocity on the fastball, he has a very good curveball. High fly ball into left. And Crawford takes care of that one. Twice tonight he had gotten Teixeira on an off-speed pitch on the change.
You like that curveball too, because that's a pitch where, you know, a good power hitter, good hitter in general, like Mark Teixeira coming up there from the left side, probably not going to be swinging at a first pitch backdoor breaking ball, curveball especially. And so, you know, if you have good command of that pitch, you could drop that, you know, thing in there, and all of a sudden you're 0-1, you know, against Mark Teixeira, like you said, in a big part of the game. So that is another nice weapon that he has.
1-0 the count to Alex Rodriguez. Inside, 2-0. Ground ball headed to short. Bartlett, in routine fashion, takes care of Alex Rodriguez. 2 gone.
Tune in tomorrow at 8 for a rundown of the most recent changes with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Paul Kennedy sits down with new head coach Guy Boucher to talk hockey philosophy. And you'll meet the Bolts' top draft pick this summer, Brett Connolly. It's the Bolts Summer Bash tomorrow at 8 on Sun Sports.
Two gone, and Robinson Cano will be the hitter. Cano with a fly ball to left and a pop to first. Tap back foul. Strike one. Well, the Rays reaching the All-Star break with their current record of 54-34. That's the best mark they've ever had at the All-Star break in club history. A winning percentage at .614, and 08 they were 55-39, which was a .585 winning percentage. 0-2 the count here to Cano.
Another good curveball there to the left-handed hitter. He keeps that ball on the outer third, breaking it down over the middle of the plate, but it's down below the strike zone. He's getting really good spin on that pitch tonight, getting a lot of guys to chase it.
Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, that fastball up and away, that's a pretty good pitch right there, up out of the strike zone with 2 strikes.
You just need it a little bit closer. That one was way out of the strike zone, and a hitter will recognize right out of the hand that that doesn't have a chance.
And he comes back now with a breaking ball, and it's foul.
If you can keep that pitch right around the letters, you'll get those guys to chase that pitch and swing through it because it looks big to their eyes. They think they can get on top of it. Of course, they can't, and they swing through it. But when it's that high, they'll let it go right out of your hand. But, you know, on the flip side of that, as a pitcher, you're so used to pounding the strike zone down that sometimes when you were trying to go up on purpose, you know, that's a nervous pitch to make sometimes, and so you overcompensate and ended up spraying it way too high.
And a shot back into center field. That is well hit and gone into the bullpen. Cano hits his 17th home run, and just like that, it's a 1-run ball game. Well, Cano's had a lot of success against Shields. That's his first hit tonight off him. A big one.
Well, it's that backdoor cutter that he tried to go with. That ball ends up coming back enough that Robinson Cano can get extended. We talked about batting practice, the way the ball was jumping, and he put a charge into that three-quarter line drive and just zapped it out of here. Center field. That was a shot.
Breaking ball is low to Posada, 1-0.
That's the danger with that backdoor cutter and going to it too many times in one game. You pick your spots with that pitch. You sprinkle it in maybe 3 or 4 times a game in some big spots to get guys, called out looking. But if you go to it too many times, it becomes a pitch that can be very easily hittable.
Yeah, and I think he's been hurt on that pitch a lot as Hickey goes out here with a count 2-0.
Yeah, that's a surprise pitch, and you'll see a lot of guys use it. You get ahead of a left-handed hitter with 2 strikes, and all of a sudden you throw a 4-seam fastball off the plate away and get him looking out there and recognizing, okay, it's a ball. Now it's 1-2 or 2-2. Now you throw the backdoor cutter off that. They see the pitch come out of your hand. They think, oh, another fastball away. I'm going to take that. It's off the plate. And that's where you get that little cut, and you're able to freeze them and get them called out looking. But when you throw it too many times, guys get wise to that pitch, and it becomes a ball that is coming back towards you, towards the middle of the plate, where you can really get good extension on it as a lefty and drive it just like Cano did.
2-0 the count to Posada, and there's ball 3 down and in.
And I will bet you that had something to do with Jim Hickey going out there saying, hey, look, it's getting later in the game. Let's go do what you do best. Spot up the fastball, work the changeup.
And there's a shot deep to right, and that one is going to get out of here. Posada jumped on that fastball and hits it out. And this game is tied. Back-to-back home runs off shields by Cano and Posada.
Now that was a fastball up in the strike zone. Middle of the plate, up above the belt. Jorge Posada. Well, you see that perfect left-handed swing on a ball that was middle of the plate, and he drove that right into the upper deck out in right field.
Now it's Curtis Granderson, and he takes a pitch upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Granderson rolls 1 foul. 1-1. Anderson struck out his last time and takes this one for a strike, and a fly ball to left in the 2nd inning. Brad Balfour and Randy Choate up in the bullpen. And there is strike 3 call to retire the side. But the Yankees come up with back-to-back home runs. Cano, number 17. Posada hit number 10. And this game is tied 3-3. We played 6. We go to the 7th, and this game is tied 3-3. The Rays will have the top of the order coming up here in the 7th inning. Upton, Crawford, and then Longoria facing CC Sabathia. Sabathia with 93 pitches through 6. So the Rays have to go back to work. Upton fouls the fastball, strike 1. DJ twice tonight has struck out. He walked in the 5th. behind in the count. 0-2. Out of the hole from the shortstop spot, and that's a base hit. Teixeira knocked it down and kept it in the infield. A tough chance for Jeter, and he almost pulled it off. Upton has a base hit.
Well, how many times have we seen Derek Jeter make that play? A ground ball in the hole, the jump throw to first. But that was going to be a tough chance with B.J. Upton running. Well, he has made a living off of that play. So good with the throw, and Teixeira just couldn't come up with it.
So the leadoff man on base. Here's Carl Crawford. And the pitch is a low fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Crawford's base hit was a line drive single into right field off a breaking pitch. He had a slider into right. Upton back in. David Robertson throwing in the bullpen. Up and in a bit. Fastball, and the count moves to 2-0.
We've seen it all night long. CC Sabathia, if he gets into the stretch, has not been feeling it. Realizing that B.J. Upton is a stolen base threat, trying to speed up the delivery a little bit. Once again, spraying that fastball wildly, falling behind Crawford 2-0.
Crawford hits it on the ground. That's going to go through into right, a base hit. Upton's on his way to third. The throw from Switzer offline, and into second base goes Crawford. The Rays set up men at second and third as Upton beat the wide throw to third, and Crawford sprints into second.
Carl Crawford was able to chop that ball just out of the reach of Robinson Cano, and B.J. Upton going towards third. Nick Swisher almost looked like he was caught by surprise that B.J. was actually trying to go to third. A good throw there would have been a close play, but the ball's offline, and now the Rays will load up the bases as they're going to intentionally walk Evan Longoria here with nobody out.
Yeah, they won't deal with Longoria's bat. Carlos Pena will be coming up, and here's one of those situations we talked about in the open, Brian, about the rest of the lineup behind Crawford and Longoria. It's important that they pick it up, and here's an exact opportunity for them to do that.
Absolutely. You're going to see that more and more, and these games really start to matter coming through July, August into September. In these big matchups, they are not going to let Evan Longoria beat them, and that may go the same for Carl Crawford from time to time. So the lineup behind those two hitters is going to have to produce, or those guys will get nothing to hit.
Well, Pena so here's Pena, 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. And the first pitch is a strike, and you saw the numbers on him there. So it has been a struggle for Carlos against Sabathia. And he's quickly down in the count, 0-2. So with those numbers, they had to walk Longoria. They're going to walk him almost regardless of whoever was behind him.
Right.
To set up a double play situation. But Carlos has struggled against Sabathia. If nothing else, he'd just like to pay him back for that pitch that broke 2 fingers on his left hand last September on Labor Day. A base hit would go a long way toward doing that.
Yes, it would.
But 2 strikes to the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strikes. So Pena strikes out for the first out here in the 7th, and that is a very big out for Sabathia.
Well, you knew after the first couple of sliders to Pena, it's been a good pitch for CC in this matchup. He was just going to continue to keep going to it. You see that break down and away, 11 inches worth of depth on that slider. It's tough if you're Carlos Pena to hold up on and trust that that ball is going to break out of the strike zone. Just not being able to recognize that particular pitch, and Sabathia exploited it.
So here's Ben Zobrist now. Ben 1 for 3 tonight. He singled and scored in the 2nd. Drove a fastball to deep center in the 4th, and then in the 5th inning, Sabathia stayed away from that fastball. Got him looking. And he throws him a first pitch fastball for a strike.
Now that was just in a really good spot. That ball, not an easy pitch for Ben Zobrist to go out and drive. Wants to see one a little bit more hittable than that. Good pitch by Sabathia.
Takes the pitch in. 1-1. He came back with a slider.
And Ben has done a nice job of holding up on that slider down and in all night. That really negates a huge weapon that Sabathia has against right-handed hitting.
And a little tap, third base side. Rodriguez will go to first out there. Upton scores, and the Rays take the lead again. It's now a 4-3 ball game. Crawford to third, and Longoria into second base as Zobrist on that tap to third drives in the go-ahead run.
Well, right here you see the ball off the bat, and B.J. Upton with those big strides coming right out of the gate. No chance for Rodriguez to get him at the plate. He's got to take the out over at first. But a nice job by B.J. there. I mean, bases loaded, you have to run, but he broke nicely, quickly towards home plate, which sent the clear message to Rodriguez. You got to go to first. No chance you're getting Upton. The ball wasn't hit hard enough.
Now it's Kelly Shopping. Chopic started to go and checked in time. Want to know the count. Well, Sabathia takes a long time, and Chapa gets time stepping out. Philly had a base hit to right in the first, and then reached on Swisher's error in the 6th inning. And he takes this one up. 2 balls, no strikes. It's 112 pitches now for Sabathia.
The Rays have really forced CC to work hard tonight, having to earn every single out.
And a little tap right side by the mound. Cano in. A lot of time. Throw to first. Got him. And that retires the side. The Rays score a run. Bottom of the 7th coming. 4-3 Tampa Bay. 4-3 ball game here at New Yankee Stadium as we head into the bottom of the 7th inning. And our Land Rover recap. The Rays got a run on a sacrifice fly. Came off the bat of Willie Ibar in the 2nd. Evan Longoria's double scored Jason Bartlett in the 3rd. Yankees got a run in their half the 3rd. Then they got their 2nd run of the night on a home run by Robinson Cano. Jorge Posada tied it 3-3. The Rays got the go-ahead run across on this ground ball, the 3rd by Zobrist, scoring Upton. That's the Land Rover recap. So we go to the bottom of the 7th, and Grant Balfour will be the new pitcher for the Rays.
Grant's on for the 39th time, a 1-1 record, 2.15 earned run average, more than a strikeout an inning, just about a strikeout an inning, 38 and 37 2/3, just the 11 walks.
So Shields worked 6. He gave up 3 runs, 4 hits, and leaves with a chance to be the winner. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Evan Longoria and the Rays here in the Bronx taking on Mark Teixeira and the Yankees in a showdown between these two AL East rivals fighting for the division lead. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, returns this week at 4 p.m. Eastern. So here's Balfour on in relief of Shields. Juan Miranda will lead it off. Miranda 0 for 2, then Gardner, followed by Jeter. Balfour starts with a fastball. Miranda, a wave and a miss.
Well, I think just what we expected. Balfour with the big fastball. Juan Miranda trying to hit it out of the stadium. Balfour doing a nice job of keeping that ball up above the swing of Miranda.
And he just missed inside there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. Miranda was with the Yankees from the middle of May until the first couple days of June, then was optioned to AAA when Basato was reinstated from the DL. Now still 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he went around. He's out on strikes. So Balfour strikes out the first man he faces.
Good breaking ball there by Grant Balfour. Now Juan Miranda thinking fastball, fastball, fastball. He chokes off the breaking ball there down in the dirt. See right here throwing that slider down and in.
And we've
Miranda.
seen a lot. I beg your pardon. We've seen a lot more of that from him too, Brian.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's such an effective pitch for him. I mean, he's so fastball heavy that if he can come off with a slider like that, off of that fastball, boy, that's going to be effective to both righties and lefties. And you're right, that's been more a part of his arsenal as the year has gone on, and it's an effective pitch, as you see right there.
Strike the count to Brett Gardner, who fouls it away to the opposite side. Another fastball, 0-2. 3 runs charged to Shields on 4 hits through 6 innings. A couple of home runs. He made 96 pitches. Upstairs. And it's 1-2. Crowd of 47,524 here tonight. And the slider, and Gardner lays off. It's 2-2.
You know, if nothing else, too, throwing that slider just puts the thought, even though that's a ball. Brett Gardner's got to think now, okay, you know, he's going to go with the slider. Now, what am I going to look for here? 2-2 count.
And this one is popped up, short left. Crawford's there, and he makes the catch.
For all the latest updates on your Tampa Bay Rays, log on to tampabay.com. From the diamond to the clubhouse and everywhere in between, we bring you the in-depth news, stories, and scores 24 hours a day, only at tampabay.com. You see right there on that, right after that slider to go 2-2 count, and all of a sudden you come in with the fastball, and that pitch just ate him up. Really got in on him nicely, get that weak contact, that easy fly ball out to shallow left. And that's what that pitch will do for you. The hitter can't be so sure that you're going to throw a fastball.
Derek Jeter takes a pitch down, 1-0. He started Jeter with a hard slider.
Well, he knows Derek Jeter here, 2 outs, nobody on. He is notorious to every once in a while try to ambush and hit the ball out of the ballpark. And this is the type of situation that he'll try to do it in later in the game, down by a run. A guy out there that throws a lot of first pitch fastballs, that's the time that he'll look to try to yank one.
Two balls, no strikes. And he sends a fly ball into center, fighting off a fastball, and Upton is there to make the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Yankees. On to the 8th, 4-3 Rays.
Matt sells trucks, and I'm jealous because here at the Ford Model Year-End Sales Event, all he really has to do is say, hey guys, did you know the F-Series is the best-selling truck in America for the last 33 years? Or, pardon me, sir, did you know the Ford Ranger's the most fuel-efficient pickup in the country? Now his job's even easier because the deals are even better. Unbelievable. Matt, how you doing? Get you anything? Latte? Nah, he's good.
Now, Ranger comes with a 2-year premium maintenance plan plus 0% financing for 72 months or $3,500 total cash back at your local Southern Ford dealer.
Are you aware that Verizon Fios brings fiber optics to your home and Bright House doesn't?
Yes.
I read that.
I do know that.
Yes, but there's a contract.
Verizon, they want you to have a 2-year contract.
I got commitment issues.
No one likes to be tied down.
So if they didn't lock you into a term contract, you'd consider switching?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
It's a no-brainer.
Because now with Verizon Fios, you don't have to sign a term contract.
Really?
That's terrific.
Did not know that. I'm in.
Tampa spoke. Verizon listened. Switch to Fios today. Now with no term contract required. It's time for Fios.
It's a showdown in the Big Apple as Jeter leads the Yankees against the Rays. Fox Saturday Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. This week, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
Don't miss Family Fun Day, presented by the St. Petersburg Times, Sunday, August 1st, when the Rays take on the Yankees. The first 10,000 kids 14 and under receive a Jeff Neiman Growth Chart, presented by Grow Financial Federal Credit Union. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit raysbaseball.com.
Rays lead this game 4-3 as we enter the top of the 8th inning. The Mosaic Company and the Rays are working together in the fight to end hunger. Through home runs for food, with each Rays home run this season, the Mosaic Company will donate $500 to local food banks through Feeding America Tampa Bay, Florida's leading hunger relief agency. To date, Home Runs for Food has donated $39,500 to Feeding America Tampa Bay.
New pitcher for the Yankees as this game moves into the 8th inning. David Robertson makes his 32nd appearance.
1-3 record, ERA of almost 5.5. A lot of strikeouts. Also a lot of walks.
And Willie Ibar will turn around to hit left-handed against him to open the 8th. The pitch is in there for a strike. Kapler due to hit next, and then Bartlett. Two.
Boy, a short, snappy little breaking ball there by Robertson. That was a good pitch.
Yeah, and I tell you, the Rays have seen him really throw some great breaking pitches.
You can see what makes it so good is the break on it is very, very late.
A ball, 2 strikes. And Ibar chased that pitch and is out on strikes.
Another good breaking ball there, keeping that on the outer half below the strike zone. You see that late break. Willie Ibar cannot hold up. The ball's out of the zone, but tough pitch.
The Rays saw Robertson in relief of Pettit in a game here in New York back in the 3rd week of May. He pitched 2 innings and struck out 4 Rays hitters and had great stuff. And when you looked at his numbers, and the Yankees are looking for him to pick it up in the second half, but every time the Rays see this guy, he looks like a world beater.
Well, Dwayne, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, where's this 5.46 earned run average coming from? I mean, this guy, every time you see him, he's lights out. He's got good stuff. He's done a nice job, you know, here obviously early going, just the second hitter, but spotting the fastball and showing a good breaking ball.
Two and two. was in 45 games last year with the Yankees, 2-1 with a .330 earned run average. Out of the University of Alabama, 25 years old. And Kapler is out on strikes.
Well, and that swing will tell you all you need to know about the effectiveness of that breaking ball. Gabe Kapler swung at this pitch where it was going to be. And you see how far above the ball he was. I mean, that ball just gone. Late break. Speaking about striking some people out, how about Joaquin Benoit in the Rays pen?
And there's a strike call to Bartlett. One strike. And he gets a strike on that breaking pitch.
It was his worst one of the inning. Still able to get a strike out of it. Now 0-2. He's got the whole arsenal available.
All those other great breaking balls made that possible for him to get a strike on that. And Bartlett is out on strikes. Another very good breaking ball. 3 strikeouts, all coming on breaking pitches. Rays lead 4-3.
Now this is quite a treasure. This wine decanter has grooves that create a vortex, which, what is that?
This? The new Miller Lite Vortex bottle?
The craftsmanship, the grooves, where did you get it?
The bar in the lobby?
Fantastic. Next round's on me.
The new Miller Lite Vortex bottle. Its specially designed grooves let that great Pilsner taste flow right out. Taste greatness.
So what is something like this worth?
Well, nothing now.
If you had a choice between going bald and a fuller head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss. You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable.
4-3, the Rays lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning tonight. Our Jaguar performances of the game. The Rays have made a couple outstanding catches in the 5th inning of Brett Gardner. B.J. Upton came straight in to make that sliding grab. And then for the final out of the inning, Nick Swisher makes a bid to hit one out. And Gabe Kapler times his leap perfectly for out number 3.
2 bookends to that inning. James Shields loving it.
So now we go to the bottom of the 8th. Kapler in there in right field tonight. And the Rays bring on Joaquin Benoit.
Joaquin Benoit on for the 30th time. Going to try to come in and do something similar to what David Robertson just did to the Rays. Boy, is he capable. No record, but look at that ERA, .65. 40 strikeouts in 27 2/3. And opponents hitting just 112 off of him. And how about the 4 walks? 10 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. Joaquin Benoit has been nothing short of sensational for the Rays this year out of the pen.
Well, he'll face Nick Swisher to lead off the inning. Swisher 2 for 9 lifetime against him. Those 2 hits, home runs. Teixeira to follow, and then Rodriguez. So a tough inning for Joaquin Benoit here in the 8th. Swisher singled in a run in the 3rd. First pitch away, 1 ball, no strikes. And a big cut by Swisher, and he fouled it back. Fastball, and it's 1-1. A little bit away. 2-1. This game is tied once again. A 2-1 pitch. And Swisher has his third career hit off Benoit, and they have all been home runs.
Now this pitch here by Benoit is all about location. Shopping wanted the fastball away. And Joaquin Benoit yanked that fastball all the way across the plate. You see, he wants it away. Look where it ends up. Middle in and down. That's what happens.
Well, that's exactly where those left-handed power hitters like it. Now here's Teixeira. The pitch is wide. 1-0. Teixeira and Benoit both spending a lot of time with the Texas Rangers. And so Benoit's never faced Teixeira. 2-0 the count. And that's upstairs. A fastball. 3-0.
Benoit leery about making another mistake in. He's been trying to work these left-handed hitters away, missed the location on Swisher, got hurt, is trying to be a little bit too fine here to Teixeira and just missing off the plate away with 3 straight heaters.
There's a strike. 3-1. Now the Yankees have hit 3 home runs here. 2 in the 6th, and now a home run in the 8th by Swisher. And that's a strike. Full count.
Well, those last 2 fastballs, Benoit's done a nice job of really staying behind him and through him. Driving the pitch to the spot. Watch him stay right on this pitch and just drive it right to that spot. Not a lot of movement, but a lot of speed and great location.
3-2. And he lost him. Teixeira works the walk. It's the second time he's walked tonight. And the hitter will be Alex Rodriguez. Well, Rodriguez, see Cormier up in the bullpen. Rodriguez 2 for 12 with a home run lifetime against Benoit. Pitch inside. 1-0. Yeah, with a lot of these hitters against Benoit, it seems it's feast or famine. A big 0 or a long one.
when he's pitching ahead in the count, then you bring that Vulcan changeup, that split change into play, picking up a lot of strikeouts. But if he's behind, he becomes very predictable.
2-0 to count.
Right now, he's not wanting to make a mistake, so he's really, really pitching to the extremes of the plate, trying to make every pitch a perfect pitch on the black. He continues to miss off the plate.
A 2-0 count. A little tap foul over the dugout and into the stands, third base side. 2-1. And now he's behind Rodriguez, 3-1. Leadoff home run by Swisher has tied it. Teixeira has walked. 3-1 to count to Rodriguez. And he pops him up. He got the fastball in. Zobrist at second makes the catch. One away.
Well, dangerous count here. 3-1. He comes with the fastball in. You see that ball get in on Rodriguez. Right off the label. Pops that ball up. Big out there for the Rays.
And now it's Robinson Cano. Cano homered in the 6th inning. It's his hit tonight. He's 1 for 3. And like these hitters before him, he's just 1 of 11 against Benoit, but that hit was a home run. And the pitch is down. We saw Cormier up earlier with Posada due next, and Posada's numbers against Benoit are imposing indeed. He's 6 out of 11 with 3 doubles and a home run and 3 walks against Benoit. And so Cormier may be up to turn him around. It's a foul ball, 1-1. Turn him around in the sense that you'd have a guy in there that Madden considers a right-handed left-hander, so he's not literally going to turn him around, but in the grand scheme of Madden's strategy.
Got a completely different style of pitching coming from Cormier with that cutter as opposed to the ball that's fading away from Posada. He's going to get those balls cutting in on his hands. And you're absolutely right. It's a completely different look, and Cormier's been effective against lefties.
Right now it's a 1-1 count to Cano. Going to deal with this guy first. And that's away. 2 balls and a strike.
That was the homer that he hit off of James Shields on the backdoor cutter. Good extension on it. That was a rocket shot that got out of here in a hurry.
And a wave and a miss. It's 2-2. Cano leading all Yankee hitters in slugging percentage. The home run he hit in the 6th was his 17th of the year. That ties him with Mark Teixeira on their club. One out with a runner at first. That is Teixeira, the runner at first. And a foul back into the screen off a fastball. Shields for 6, Balfour for 1, and now Benoit. And a wave and a miss. He gets Cano. So he strikes him out on the change. 2 gone.
This is what happens when you get to 2 strikes against Joaquin Benoit. He can come with that changeup. You see the bottom fall out.
And so Benoit will face Posada. And we'll take a look at those numbers. That includes 3 two-base hits in that sampling. Pitch is up 1-0. Posada homered off a fastball in the 6th.
Got the fastball up. This tied the game at 3. Got it into the upper deck.
One and one. Two outs since the walk. A 1-1 count to Jorge Posada. Time called, granted by Darryl Cousins. It's been a long inning for Benoit. It started with the leadoff home run. And a foul the other way out of play. And now he's ahead of Posada. And that's what you referenced earlier, Brian. At least with Cano, he got the count even and threw that changeup to get him.
Yep.
Now he's ahead of Posada.
And I think there's no question that this pitch or the next, Benoit will go with that changeup. He threw him one early in the count, the strike changeup. You get the called strike on the outside corner. Now it's time to break out that strikeout changeup and take that ball below the zone.
One, two, and a little ground ball right side. Zobrist after it, shuffles it over to first in time to get Posada. Zobrist to Pena on the close play over there. Posada is out of there. A run scores on the home run by Swisher. A man left on base. And at the end of 8, this game is tied 4-4.
This is the Hit Show.
He's got some energy going.
I want to party with that guy.
We'll go to the ninth, tied. Mariano Rivera. Rivera on for the 35th time. He's had a little knee issue recently. He's on to face the top of the Rays order.
Once again, great numbers all around. ERA just over 1, 33 strikeouts and 34 and a third innings, just 6 walks, and opponents hitting just 137. Amazing. This guy continues to get it done primarily with 1 pitch.
And a swing and a miss. A big cut by Upton. Strike 1. Just a natural cutter for Rivera. And a broken bat, and the ball in and out of the glove of Alex Rodriguez. The bat and the ball both headed in his direction, and as he tried to get out of the way of that broken barrel end of the bat, the ball popped right out of his glove.
Yeah, not an easy play there. Mariano Rivera with that fastball in on BJ Upton just saws him off, and you see trying to catch one and avoid the other. He was successful in avoiding the bat head, but not making the play.
So that's going to be a base hit with that broken bat headed in the same direction as that soft line drive. Now here's Crawford. Of course, there's no save situation here with Girardi bringing Rivera in actually with thoughts of winning the game, and that's what your closer does. He's trying to close the Rays here in the ninth and give the Yankees an opportunity in the bottom of the ninth. And the Rays trying to get to this great right-hander. Strike 1.
And you see that little darting cutter right there at 90 miles an hour. Carl Crawford's got a nice beat on that pitch, and as he starts to swing, that late movement takes it right under his bat.
Crawford takes it inside. It's 1-1. You know, that base hit for Upton gives him 3 for 10 off Rivera. As tainted as the hit might have been on a broken bat, he has 7 strikeouts and 3 hits now in 10 at bats.
There you go.
Over to first, and Upton is back in. Crawford, on the other hand, is 6 of 17 with a double and a homer against Rivera. Count to Carl, 1-1. And the Yankees pitch out, and even the pitch out was wanting to cut back to the plate.
He handcuffed Posada. They weren't going to get him either way.
And a move to first, and they picked him off. Upton is picked off. He widened that lead a little bit, and Rivera picks him off.
Well, Rivera held on to the ball and got BJ to make a false step towards second. Right here, boom, gone. Done. He got him. Tagged him on the lat, but the arm was not back in there. It clearly put the tag in there.
That's foul back. Into the screen. The count is 2-2. Crawford fouls one back. The count is still 2-2. So a very big pickoff. Rivera getting Upton.
Rivera is a tough customer. You get that leadoff man on him, on base against him. Well, you want to take advantage of that.
And there's a popper into shallow right. Swisher is there, and he makes the catch. 2 gone. Now it'll be Evan Longoria. Well, Rivera doesn't pick off many runners because he doesn't give up many runners.
Right.
But he
Many
got a big pick off there.
Yes, he did. That was huge. You get Upton on leading off the 9th inning. Crawford, Longoria coming up after him. You got a good chance.
Evan takes a pitch away. 1 ball, no strikes.
BJ's still not happy about it, but when he goes back and takes a look at the tape, he will see that they did get him.
A 1-1 count now to Longoria. One and two.
That almost looked there like a little two-seamer. That ball darted in towards Longoria. You see Evan taking his time getting back in the box, trying to regroup mentally after seeing that pitch.
A ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. Upstairs, 2-2. New York tied it for the run in the 8th. We're in the 9th, 4-4. 2-2 to Longoria. And he is called out on strikes. That will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th. This game tied 4-4. Four tie. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning in New York. For a limited time, take advantage of the Auto-Way. Buy 3, get 1 free tire special at all Auto-Way dealerships. Go to AutoWayServiceCenters.com for locations and to schedule your appointment. Speaking of Auto-Way, here's our Auto-Way poll question of the night. If you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call Auto-Way? Who do the Rays need to step up in the second half? B.J. Upton, Jason Bartlett, Carlos Pena, or James Shields? Text your vote to 789-789, standard message and data rate supply. Randy Choate, the new pitcher for the Rays. He's on with Curtis Granderson due to lead off. Miranda follows him, and then Gardner, 3 left-handed hitters. Randy 2-2 on the year. Granderson, 3 out of 4 against Choate with a strikeout. And the first pitch is down. There's a foul ball slicing out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe pitched a third of an inning in Sunday's game leading up to the All-Star break, and the Rays 10 inning 6-5 win over Cleveland. 2-1. And a cut and a miss by Curtis Granderson. 2-2.
Randy Choate coming with that fastball. Cross body fire all the way across the plate, keeping it down. Good pitch there. That's where you want to throw Curtis Granderson in this situation.
Count holding at 2-2.
Make him reach for the ball. That ball that catches a little bit too much plate or is working its way back down and in, very dangerous to Granderson. But if you can get him reaching at the knees away, should be in good shape out there.
Two and a tap foul. Rays have out hit New York 9-5, but the Yankees in the later stages of this game have had 3 home runs. Two the count. And a ground ball. There's a base hit into right field. So Granderson works for the single. So he'll be at first.
Now, wanting to go, he wants it down and away. This pitch you can see working its way right back to the center of the plate.
Romero Pena emerges from the dugout. Miranda's due, but Pena will pinch hit. Well, the Yankees will be trying to get Granderson up to second base.
Rays meeting in there at the mound. All the infielders, catcher Kelly Shopik making sure they're on the same plate. On the same page here with Pena coming to bat. Obviously trying to smell out a bunt play.
And a move to first base with Longoria starting to break down from third base. Going to see if Pena would give anything away. Pena with a couple sacrifice bunts this year. 1 from each side of the plate. And he gets the bat back, takes the pitch wide. 1-0.
Well, he's showing the bunt early. One thing you worry about here if you're the Rays, if you put a crash type play on to try to get the lead runner at second base, Pena pulling the bat back and taking a swing.
Yeah, with the movement on the infield, that infield can be wide open.
Oh, all you got to do is put the ball in play on the ground and it will trickle through.
There's the bunt. Shopik's going to take it to first, out there. So they bunt Granderson up to second base. Shopik to Zobrist on the sacrifice for the first out. And so step by step, New York with a man in scoring position, and Brett Gardner will be the hitter. Gardner walked and scored in the third. A couple of fly balls otherwise, and he's 0 for 2. Hitting .261 against left-handed pitching. Dan Wheeler is up in the bullpen along with Lance Cormier. Gardner takes a strike. Derek Jeter is on deck. But right now the battle is Choate and Gardner.
Yeah, definitely first things first.
And there's a strike. A little break on that one. Picked up the strike zone. That one, not the vintage slider from Choate.
You know, and you wonder if Brett Gardner's having a hard time picking up Choate. Took a fastball almost right down the middle for strike one, and then a breaking ball that really for Randy Choate, that's a hanger.
Yep.
He took that one for strike two. Well, now you can really tease him off the plate.
And he takes the pitch away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at second with 1 out. One and two. And away again. Gardner had an idea, but laid off in plenty of time, taking the pitch outside and low. 2-2. Leadoff single by Granderson. He was bunted up to second. Choate ready. Here it is. And a foul ball outside of third. The count holds at 2-2. Joe's hair is already white.
May start losing it.
2-2 now. Choate originally signed by the Yankees. Got to the big leagues with them for a handful of games in 2000. And with Arizona, now the Rays. 2-2 pitch again. And it's a little low. So he got ahead of him and he's teased him, but Gardner would not offer it. We have a full count.
2-2 fastball down and away.
That looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think the cameras are off on that one. That ball, he gets that call for a strike, and wow.
3 balls, 2 strikes. And a tap foul. A full count to Gardner. And ball 4. So Gardner draws the walk. Choate was very careful with him.
Outstanding.
Well, Dan Wheeler is the new pitcher for the Rays, their 5th of the night. He's in with 1 out and runners at first and second. He's on to face Derek Jeter.
28 in the 3rd inning. He's got the 32 strikeouts. We'd like to.
Against Wheeler, he's hitting .267, as you see there, 4 for 15. Wheeler all set. Pitch to Jeter, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. Anderson's leadoff base hit, and then the bunt moved him to second. Gardner walked. And a swing, got a foul ball back. He went after the fastball, and the count is 0-2.
Van Wheeler trying to come in with that fastball. Got it up just enough. Derek Jeter could not get on top of it, fouled it straight back, but goes up in the count 0-2.
Two strikes the count. And a foul ball back. Another big cut by Jeter. That time a slider that Jeter really liked.
Yes, he did. That was not where Dan Wheeler wanted that pitch. Wanted to go down and away off the plate. That ball hung up middle of the plate. Derek Jeter wishing he had another crack at that one.
Well, let's hope that that's the pitch he gets to hit in this at bat. The one pitch that hitters supposedly get.
That's what they say.
The 0-2, and he pops it up foul. That's backing out of play. Wheeler tried a curveball that time. The home run by Swisher tied it in the 8th. The Yankees threatened in the 9th. And that pitch was very close. I think Shopik thought they might have had it.
Yeah, he did. The way he popped out of there. Really close on the fastball. A good view of it right here. Boy, oh boy. It's so close. I don't know how you take that. You're Derek Jeter unless you're just hoping it's called a ball. It's a really good pitch there by Wheeler.
A ball, 2 strikes. And he got him. He threw him the breaking ball. Struck him out on that curveball. So Wheeler strikes out Jeter. And Madden's coming out to make another change with Swisher due. Here's the breaking ball.
Now took something off this. Usually the slider by Wheeler. He goes with the curveball there. You see how far out in front Derek Jeter is. Cannot hold up on it. Nice job right there by Dan Wheeler.
So another pitching change. We'll be back in a moment. It's Cormier will be the new pitcher for the Rays, on to face Nick Swisher, who has driven in 2 of the 4 New York runs tonight, including the game-tying run with a home run in the 8th.
On for the 35th time, a 3-1 record, 4.37 on the earned run average, 35 innings of work.
So Cormier, pitcher number 6. And that pitch is a strike over the inside part of the plate. Swisher homered off Benoit in the 8th. Hit the fastball out of here to right. The count goes to 1-1. Swisher thought he had at least an extra base hit in the 5th inning when Kepler made that great catch on him in right center field. He started to go after the fastball, held up. 2 balls and a strike. And a line drive base hit into right. Kepler will up with the ball. Granderson's going to try to score. He is safe, and this game is over. Swisher, who tied the game in the 8th, wins it in the 9th for New York. It's a 5-4 final. Swisher driving in his 3rd run of the ball game with a base hit into right. And New York wins game 1 of this series 5-4. The Yankees win their 57th game. The Rays, who had climbed to 20 over 500 right before the All-Star break, now dropped to 19 games over 500. Rivera is going to get the win, his 3rd of the year. He's 3-1. Choate will suffer the loss, dropping his record to 2-3. And there's the game-winning base hit.
He gets the ball into right field. Gabe Kapler comes up throwing, gets the 1 hop. Kelly Shopping just not able to corral that ball and make a tag, but it wouldn't have mattered. Granderson got in there. Good slide, snuck the left hand in. And there's your game winner.
So game 1 goes to New York for Brian Anderson and Todd Callis, Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. We'll be with you again on Sunday on Sun Sports and High Def. Rays Live, the postgame comes up next. We'll see you there.
And tough, and that's exactly what CC did.
Did it seem, Joe, like the crowd initially in this game didn't exactly know how to act, and then it was perhaps the Cano home run that really woke them up?
You know, it's strange without the PA. It's quiet. It's a weird feeling when you don't have that extra noise at a ballpark, and I think that changes the atmosphere.
Bruce. Emotional start, emotional ending.
Yeah.
Pretty good script, Joe, huh?
Yeah. I thought the tribute was beautiful. You know, the roses at home plate. The tribute to these 2 great men, and just a wonderful night, and a night that's a very sad night. I think the boss would be proud, and I think Bob Shepard would have loved being the PA for this game.
Over here, Ron and Barry.
The amazing thing about the night, it really isn't it, that life goes on and you play a ball game like that, and every minute, every inning, it just moves forward.
Yeah. You know, in life, you know, there's a lot of very, very happy moments, and there's a lot of very, very sad moments that you experience. The thing that you talk about is getting back up. You get knocked down, you get back up. You have a tough day, you get back up. And this is a tough day for all of us. Tuesday was extremely difficult, and so was this. And the upcoming days, we're all going to deal with this in our own way, but it's something that I think about on a daily basis.
Joe, was it hard as the game went on for you and you think your players to keep focused on the game without thinking of George, or does the game make you focus?
I think the game, in a sense, makes you focus, but you know, every half inning you have that reminder how special of a man he was. And you get caught up in that, listening to all the stories and listen to how he affected so many different people, whether it was current Yankees or former Yankees. I did get caught up in listening to those stories, but when the game starts, you get back into that, and every half inning you're interrupted.
Kim.
Joe, how would you characterize Swisher's last 2 at-bats?
Big. You know, there's 2 things that I know that Mr. Steinbrenner loved. He loved the Yankees. There's a few more things, but he loved his Yankees, and he loved his Buckeyes. And a Buckeye got him.
When did you think of that?
As I walked off the field, I thought, you know, I was thinking how fitting it would be that if Derek got the hit in a night like this, you know, especially with Derek paying a tribute every day to Bob Shepard and his love and affection for Mr. Steinbrenner. I just thought for sure, and Derek had about 5 good swings. I just thought for sure that Derek was going to get it done, but George's second love was the Buckeyes.
Susan.
Joe, when you look at back to CC for a moment, you call him an ace a lot. I mean, he obviously didn't have his greatest stuff today, but the way he got through it and was able to hold the damage to a minimum, is that what you mean about an ace?
Yeah, I mean that's what aces do. They minimize the damage. You know, you get a couple strange plays. You get a ball that Shopik hits, and CC keeps that run from scoring. I thought CC just picked this up time and time again. And on a night that maybe he didn't have his best stuff, he gutted through it.
Over here to your left, Joe.
Joe, the current players had a chance to deal with their emotions tonight. What do you think tomorrow is going to be like when all the ex-Yankee greats are out with the dealing with the emotions for the first time?
I think it'll be tough for them because obviously when you walk into the stadium, it's a reminder of the boss. The patches are great. In the old-timers game, they'll get a chance to put the jersey back on with the patches on there. It's going to remind them. And for the old-timers game, obviously, all of them were under Bob Shepard. And that's going to be difficult, too.
Middle, Joe.
It was like a 1 out of 2 tonight because even though Derek Jeter did not get that hit to win the game, but quietly, Mariano Rivera came up and put the flowers on home plate.
Yeah.
And he's the winning pitcher tonight.
Yeah, Mo, in a sense, opened it up and he closed it out.
All right, so there's Joe Girardi with some comments about the...
It's kind of been an up and a down day. When we all got here to the ballpark, we knew that there was going to be, you know, an amazing ceremony for, you know, Mr. Steinbrenner and Mr. Shepard. It's pretty emotional there at the beginning of the game. And all the nice things that everybody was saying on the scoreboard, things like that. Me, myself, I wasn't fortunate enough, like guys like, you know, Jeet Mo and Posada and Pettit to have known Mr. Steinbrenner in the way they did. But I think in general, when you're putting on the pinstripes, I think you knew Mr. Steinbrenner in some way. For all of us, we got down early and just kept pushing, kept fighting, and ended up pulling off a great win.
Oh, hold on, Wally. Yep.
Was it easy to go ahead and, I guess, stay focused with all of the tributes being played, after every half inning?
Well, there was a lot of talk today about Yankees, Rays, first place, second place, right out of the break. I think we need to put all that aside today because today was Mr. Steinbrenner's day. Regardless of the situation, regardless of anything, we went out there and we played that game as best we could for him today.
Wally.
Swish, after the emotion of the ceremony in the beginning, how long does it take it to become just a regular baseball game?
Maybe right now. I think, everything that was put up on the scoreboard, in between innings, things like that, it isn't enough for a guy like Mr. Steinbrenner, who's done so much, not only for the New York Yankees, but the game of baseball in general. I had the privilege of meeting him twice, brief conversations. Never really got into the love for the Buckeyes that both of us had. But either way, I'm proud to be part of the New York Yankees, proud to represent Mr. Steinbrenner, and I'm proud to represent New York.
So
every day, man, this is baseball heaven.
Well, it was a great way for the Yankees to begin the night with a ceremony honoring Bob Shepard and George Steinbrenner, and a great way for them to wrap it up. And when we come back, we'll talk more about baseball, and we'll get the perspective from the booth with Michael Kay and Ken Singleton when we continue here on the WB Mason postgame right after this.
The Yankees postgame show